1041 FM.
Let's take it from the top.
KMOX.
Good morning. It is 9:03 on a Friday. And because it is Friday, well, we've got two things that are not a surprise. One, Chris Ranji is out visiting the wife and kids in Chicago, as he does. And John Hancock and Michael Kelly are in Studio B.
Yeah.
Top of the morning.
Top of the morning to the two of you.
Yes.
What a day yesterday.
Oh, my gosh. And we're going to get to that. And we want to hear from you about, I don't know, what might have been one of the greatest days in St. Louis history. 314-436-7900. You can call or text. We love to get your texts. And, of course, if you're listening on 1120, check us out on the FM 1041 FM. It is a crystal clear sound. You can take us with you wherever you go on the Odyssey app. Listen wherever, even if you're on a boat or maybe you're in Italy, you can listen to the Chris and Amy Show. And if you miss anything, you can just subscribe to and listen to the Chris and Amy Show podcast.
Time now for the top of the order. The top three stories everyone will be talking about.
Well, it was a victorious opening day for the St. Louis Cardinals as they defeat the Tampa Bay Rays 9-7. And J.J. Weatherholt hits a home run in his Major League Baseball debut.
How awesome was that? And while the Cardinals started out in first place, well, St. Louis is dead last in population growth in the U.S. 50's largest metro areas. Ooh.
And the St. Louis Blues, by golly, they've done it again. They won. For the second year in a row, the Blues are the hottest NHL team in March.
0-2 the count to Weatherholt, and he hits that ball high and deep to center field. He got a lot of that one, and it's gone! First Major League home run! First Major League hit for J.J. Weatherholt. Burleson swings. He hits it a mile to right field. The Cardinals have the lead +1 on that two-run homer by Alec Burleson. An 8-run sixth inning. Unbelievable.
Such a great call. That one was going viral on social media last night. But John Hancock, Michael Kelly.
Yes.
Tell us about your experiences from opening day, because Ranj and I obviously kicked off the festivities at Cardinals Nation. We started the show at 9 a.m. and then it was a whirlwind from there.
Yeah, and you had all the big ballers on. I listened to, you had President Bill DeWitt on with you.
Yeah, we did. And we had Polo
What a great
Asensio
booking
and
job there.
Benji Molina. Then Chaim Bloom joined the show after I left.
Uh-huh.
I do think KMOX doesn't want me to interact with people with the Cardinals.
Chaim Bloom has a rich, deep radio voice.
He's got a great voice.
I mean, I listened to that interview yesterday.
Yeah.
He's got a great voice.
Well, yeah. Did you hear the ovation he received
Yes.
when
Yeah.
he was introduced?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think the fandom here is very much supportive of the direction of this ball club, and I think we're going to be rewarded for it.
Oh,
I think we're all counting on him.
Sooner rather than people are saying.
well, I will say this. You talk about the ovation that Chaim Bloom got at the baseball stadium. When we were in Cardinals Nation, which was packed, by the way, he joined the show. He joined Chris Ranji and Tom Ackerman in the 11 o'clock hour. And when he got up to leave after the interview, the restaurant was clapping for him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
As he was walking through, people just started spontaneously clapping. And we weren't over the big speakers. Those interviews weren't over the big speakers. So it wasn't like everyone in the restaurant was listening. I mean, you could only hear on the radio.
Right.
And so just them knowing that he's sitting over at the KMOX, our Cardinals broadcast booth there, when he got up to leave, everybody just started clapping.
It was incredible. Now, he got the second biggest ovation from my perception. The biggest one went to the Clydesdales, which I don't know about you guys, but it made the hair on the back of my neck stand up every time I see them, because I take a little sense of pride in that's St. Louis, and they're so doggone beautiful.
Yeah.
Those animals
Mhm.
coming around. I was sitting with my mom for most of the opening ceremony, and we were sitting next to a lot of the visiting teams' families.
Yeah.
And so there was lots of young kids there from Tampa Bay, etc. The excitement of even them when those horses come into that building. I don't know. There's just something about the Clydesdales that make opening day the most special of days to me.
2 paper towels for me yesterday.
What does that mean?
I cannot get through the opening ceremony without crying.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah. And especially with the videos of the,
Yeah.
and 2, no, they were the half, sheet paper.
The half sheet. Were
But I
they
used-
double quilted?
No, there's just, the thin ones.
Yeah.
But 2 of them.
You got welled up a little, huh?
Yeah.
Seeing the pictures of Whitey and
Yes.
those who've recently departed from
Gibby,
us. Yeah.
Blue.
And I do feel like we lost so many great Cardinals in the past 5-6 years.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Bruce Sutter, Tim
Mhm.
McCarver. I mean, Red.
John pointed it out to me on our show this morning, the 5 minutes we were on, that Ozzie, is now the dean of the Red Jackets.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the last person to come in. He gets the biggest ovation.
Yeah.
And it feels like to me, this sounds like an old person, but it seems like just a couple of years ago, he was running out there and doing flips
I know.
on opening day.
Well, he hadn't done a flip in a while.
I agree with Michael. It feels like recently. But Al Raboski,
Yeah.
the newest member
Right.
to wear the red jacket.
And I guess he's now the oldest living Red Jacket person for the Cardinals.
Really?
Oh, is he
I
really?
think he probably is. He or LaRussa.
Yeah.
And, but yeah.
Mm.
It was a ton of fun. And downtown St. Louis yesterday, I mean, gosh, I got down there a little before 8 and it was already hopping, which is fun to see. Just people walking around in their Cardinals jerseys and their
good
red.
to see.
It's so fun to see people on the street. And then of course the festivities just amped up and intensified as the day went on. But you could have had a heck of a day in the city of St. Louis, as did Billikens basketball coach Josh Schertz, by going to the Cardinals home opening day. You see the Clydesdales in the red jackets. And of course, Josh Schertz, special treatment as he deserves, got to sit in the green seats.
Hey, now.
And then hightailed it to Enterprise Center
Yes.
after the Cardinals game to go to the Blues game. The Blues won in spectacular fashion in overtime.
Yes.
This was a high point for the city of St. Louis yesterday.
All right. Clue me in here, guys. I thought we were on life support as the Blues to
Yes.
and now do we have a chance again this year to make it to the playoffs?
Outside chance. Very outside chance.
There was an older lady. She happened to be a grandma that I know. That would you'd get the call from the hospital that grandma's not doing well and she's probably not going to make it through the night. And so people would fly in from out of town and we would go to the hospital. And then by golly, somehow the next day grandma would rebound and she was eating a fried chicken dinner and would invite everyone to have fried chicken with her. The Blues are eating a fried chicken dinner.
Right.
There you go.
Right? I mean, so what are they, a couple
she
of games
always
out of the wild
rebounded.
card here? Is that what it is?
I know they're quite a few points out. Going into the game last night, they were 8 points out of a wild card spot, which is pretty insurmountable right now. It sounds like it's not.
Well, they've only got 11 games left, something like that.
Yeah, and the team that they're chasing, the Nashville Predators, has been really hot.
Hot, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not the only team. You get it's not just the point gap, it's the number of teams you've got to jump.
All right.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I don't think it's going to happen.
No, but it's been really fun to watch the youth on the Blues take over. And
Utes.
it was fun to watch the Utes at the baseball game. And one of the Utes, that wasn't on the Cardinals, it's Michael Kelly,
What's
who
that?
could have an absolute rager all day long
did I
and
ever.
then show up at the studio before me and looking fresh. The guy's got energy. He's making jokes. He's dancing around. It looks like all you did yesterday was elevate your feed and hydrate and stay rested.
Oh, I was hydrated excessively. And I had a good day. We started early. This is kind of a St. Louis day for me. So my office staff, we all get together around 11:30. We did a St. Louis thing. We had Emo's Pizza.
Nice.
And some toasted raviolis.
Nice.
We consumed some Anheuser-Busch products.
There you go.
We made our way over to the stadium in time to see the Clydesdales come around. In the third inning, I met up with my family and all my friends that were at the game. We took a picture. Matt Pajeski was there. And about seventh, eighth inning, I think I probably hit my limit for the day and had to start to mosey towards and ran into all the Blues fans out on the streets.
Yeah.
But what was crazy about yesterday, you guys, too, is that it was opening day. I've been to opening days where I'm literally having to buy a second pair of gloves and another scarf.
Oh, yeah.
And yesterday, girls were in sundresses. I was in shorts. It was just unbelievable what that weather was like. I felt like we were in the middle of July, and I'm not complaining at all.
Nobody thought you were.
Oh, and
not
today,
at all.
the wind's blowing out there.
Well,
It feels like it's 20 degrees.
Yeah, this would have been a much rougher opening day, even though it would have been normal. We've all suffered through an opening day like this. And that's what Bill DeWitt III said, is he would 100% every time take an opening day that's 90 degrees and sunny, then windy, cold, rainy, 50 degrees.
Right.
And it was the hottest day in March, I believe, that St. Louis has ever experienced.
In history.
My word.
Not just the hottest March 26th. It was the hottest March day.
Now, but we don't have temperatures from like the 1820s, right?
No, I don't think so.
We don't know how hot it might have been in 1824.
Well, do you think that it was probably likely that there was some hot days during that time? But
Had to be.
Yeah.
I think it's cyclical, right?
Yeah.
The 30s were rough. The 1930s, man. Don't you feel like every time we break a record, it's from the 1930s?
Yeah, it kind of has that feel to
Whether
it
was snow or heat.
Now, the nice thing about the heat we had yesterday, though, and I can deal with 94 degrees if we don't have the humidity.
Right.
And then there was no humidity
Mhm.
yesterday. So unless you were directly in the sun, you were able to deal with it. Now, my seats that I was in the upper deck of 372, I think was my section yesterday.
Whoa.
Oh, buddy,
Well, how'd that happen?
Well, my mother and my aunt were sitting down in my seats, and I just bought a couple of
I
extra
thought you were
seats.
going to say you made your mom sit up top.
No, I had her down close. But
Yeah, because your seats are great.
Yeah, you have great seats.
But I was half in the sun and half in the shade for the game.
Yeah.
And it was delightful. Everybody was happy.
Even for
And
your Irish skin that
it was
have?
okay. Well, listen,
Was it okay?
I lubed up yesterday with all the sunscreens, etc. Like I said, I mean, it felt like I was going to a June or a July baseball game. I woke up yesterday and put sunscreen on in the middle of March to go to a baseball game.
Yeah.
And
There you go.
it was pinch me day. It was such a great day.
It was a great day.
I loved it. My friend John's optimistic that this is going to be a good year for our team. I hope that's
better
the
than
case.
people expect.
Do you know the bet I made?
Mm.
I made a bet, and Matt, we said mark the tape, which he did, that the Cardinals are going to have as many wins as it was degrees Fahrenheit yesterday.
Amy, you
first.
didn't place a
94?
money wager on this, did you?
94?
No, I don't bet.
I was going to say, you're going to need to take up a collection here
Yeah,
because you're going to lose.
Yeah, they're not going to win 94 games.
I'm not even sure the 90s teams were winning 94 games,
Yeah,
were they?
yeah. No.
That was an attitude like that. So far, guess who's looking pretty good? This girl right here. And I want to bring in Matt Pajeski, who you guys love very much,
PJ.
who said it was
Pidge.
one of the best days.
Yeah, I mean, it just started off great at Ballpark Village with you guys at 9 o'clock. And anytime you can get to go to Ballpark Village and talk baseball as part of your work day, it's a pretty good day.
Yeah.
Wrapped up at 1:30 with Glover and Wheeler. Hang out at Busch with the KMOX crew, with Michael Kelly and his work crew. And have some beverages, as Kelly said, and then go to the honky tonk bar after the game.
Whoa. You went to the honky tonk.
Yeah.
Just, what is that? Just south of the stadium there?
Yeah. It's
On
actually
Broadway?
it's the garage. It's right across the street from Broadway Oyster Bar, where our buddies Ryan and Jeremy from the honky tonk, they've opened up the concert venue, the garage next door. It's great spot for country music.
Did you do a little line dancing?
No, I can't do any of that.
I tell you what, I got him properly lubricated yesterday. That I could have seen PJ could have gotten out there and done a little line dancing.
That's what I've heard. I heard that's why you didn't go to the Blues game.
That's right. I couldn't do another game where I'd be wanting to do the same thing. When I met Michael Kelly down at the backstop bar, he had a drink waiting for me. I'm like, this guy.
It is the absolute best experience. And, guess who returned to town yesterday to really be the only rain cloud on an otherwise sunny day?
Who?
Shingles McGee.
I
know.
The
And
shingles came back?
Well, just like not the rash. Who says that on the radio? No, just fatigue. So 314-436-7900. Tell me how long this is going to last, folks. I'm crowdsourcing. I could call my doctor. I barely made it through the show. And I've just been slammed like a semi-truck of fatigue. So we're having so much fun, and I don't want to leave the festivities. But because I'm a loser, I had to leave like at 1:30, which was 90 minutes before the game started. And I waltzed my sorry little loser butt home, and I got my pajamas on and got on the couch, and I did not move for the rest of the day. So I did watch every single inning of the Cardinal game and then the Blues game, which was fun. But when I saw Josh Schertz, he was living it up, Mr. St. Louis. I felt like Benedict Arnold. I felt like my body betrayed
You ever have
me.
a 5-hour energy drink? You ever do that?
Well, I've had caffeine.
You must have been really hurt because you had unique access to that entire experience yesterday. Like you could have gone down and petted the horses had you wanted to.
Yes, I had unique access. I had free access.
Yeah.
And old Shingles McGee.
And then a chance to go to the Blues game on top of it all.
That's what I mean.
Boring.
At any rate, John Hancock, Michael Kelly, both far superior to this loser lady here. I'm glad everybody had a great time. It was a wonderful, wonderful opening day in the city of St. Louis. It's the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-909-9696. 800-909-9696.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
I wanted a new color printer to add pizzazz to my prints.
Ooh, pizzazz can be pricey.
Well, now at Staples, you get up to 30% off select HP printers.
30% off an HP?
Yeah, I saved $120 on an HP Smart Tank 6001 with up to 3 years of ink included.
Why, that could be the last printer you'll ever need.
Could be.
Shop your local Staples today for big savings on HP.
That was easy.
Available in-store, online, or on the app. It's 404 exclusions apply.
Hi, this is Jill Schlesinger, CBS News business analyst, certified financial planner, and the host of the Jill on Money podcast. With the new year upon us, there's no better time to take control of your financial life. And the Jill on Money podcast is here to help. It's your questions that make it possible for me to provide unconventional and, I hope, entertaining insights on your money, and more importantly, on your life. Follow and listen to Jill on Money wherever you get your podcasts.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. For 100 years, KMOX has been a part of St. Louis. Now, those moments live on, preserved, remastered, and ready to be heard again. Discover KMOX from the Archives, a podcast featuring classic audio from a century of service.
Sponsored by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine, the original.
The KMOX from the Archives podcast, available now at KMOX100.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Beat the spring cleaning rush and call Zero Res. This is the perfect time to clean your air ducts as you deal with allergy season, furnace and air conditioning efficiency, post-winter, and more. This month, get a free size upgrade on every whole home air duct cleaning package. Don't you love when you buy your favorite coffee or soda and you get a free size upgrade? Nothing better than getting a large but paying for a medium. That's exactly what Zero Res is doing with their whole home air duct cleaning packages. Pay less for more fresh. Go online at ZeroResSTL.com. Ask for the Dave Glover special.
Hey, it's Debbie Monterey. I'm joined by my friend and St. Louis real estate expert, Gloria Liu, your home sold guaranteed realty. Gloria, everyone knows you for your guaranteed sold program, but you also help your sellers get multiple cash offers, right?
That's right. Some sellers are looking for speed, certainty, and to avoid repairs in open houses. I just helped a family in December to sell their parents' estate. They chose me because I offered 4 cash offers at our first meeting, which gave them options picking the best cash offer. Whether it's multiple cash offers or my guaranteed sold program, my sellers are always in control to sell fast and for the most money. It's my guarantees and my buyers in waiting program that set me apart from other realtors.
If you're ready to make your move without the hassles, guaranteed, call Gloria Lou right now at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888 or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Proudly serving St. Louis for over 100 years. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
John Hancock and Michael Kelly, who is 22 years old.
Hey now.
Unbelievable, this guy. He's Superman.
You got to answer the bell. Look, if you're going to have a good time, you can't be a sore loser the next day.
You know,
you have to just get up and fight through it.
My favorite saying ever, which is totally what you're living out right now, I learned from Alexander Steen, who told it to Joey Vitale, because Joey Vitale, I guess they went out on a road trip one time, and he got up the next morning. I think he might have been hurt and had some coffee, and he looks at Alexander Steen, who is showered in a crisp suit, drinking coffee, already done with the paper. And Joey Vitale's like, man, and we had a late night last night. And Steen looked at him and said, out with the boys, up with the men.
Yes.
That is what Michael Kelly has done.
I like that. I'm stealing that line.
How good is that?
I was out with the girls, though.
That is true.
I was out with nobody, and I was nobody.
I was at home
alone, dying like an old glove. At any rate, okay, I want to ask you guys about this because the City Justice Center has had a ton of issues. Tragically and inexplicably, it seems, 22 people have died since 2020 in the City Justice Center, which has to make it one of the most dangerous city jails in the nation, I would think. And a long-standing issue that the City Justice Center had was the locks not working, which is really the main part of a jail. The primary aspect of a jail is that the doors lock and you don't want them to. If the doors don't lock, it's not that great of a jail. We've been talking about this for years. And I could have sworn, and I need to find the audio, that we asked somebody in the city leadership several months ago, are the locks fixed? Yeah, the locks are fixed, Amy. You know, that was kind of an old issue. So then when we spoke with the new City Justice Center director, Nate Hayward, I almost felt like I was throwing the question out there, just, cover my bases. But I said, are the locks still fixed? And here's what Nate Hayward had to say.
Well, right now, that's one of my maintenance issues. I'm updating all the locks and everything also since I've been here. So we are still working on that right now.
So are there some that aren't functioning? Do you have to move inmates around then?
No, I don't have to move anyone around, but we just updating the locks, making sure everything is secured. And my thing is, I want everyone to be safe in here, not only the staff, I want the residents to be safe also.
So,
residents.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I said inmates. I don't know if you're supposed to say that or not, but that's what I said.
Well, they are. They're inmates.
Residents.
Yeah.
It's an awfully interesting description of
residents definitely implies voluntary.
Yeah.
I'm an inmate of my house in Kirkwood. I guess so. Right. But it was a kind of a funny conversation because we were at Rally House getting ready for opening day. Matt Adams is coming in, and it was a little odd in the midst of the festivities. People are coming in and asking for pictures to talk to the director of the City Justice Center about such somber topics. But when I go back and listen to it, well, wait a minute. He didn't say, yes, the locks are fixed. Did it kind of sound like the locks are still broken?
It did. Reminds me of Otis.
Yeah.
Remember Otis?
From Mayberry?
Yeah.
Yes.
Otis would come in and check himself in and put himself in the cell there, and then he'd sleep it off. He'd get up the next morning and reach his hand out, grab the key, and unlock the cell and go on about his day. That's maybe that's what we're doing here.
I don't know, but I mean, again, if you had to describe in one sentence how a jail works, A lock is a big part of that sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is the definition of why it's a jail.
Because it locks.
Yeah.
But again, I was so thrown off because I could have sworn, and I was talking to Matt about this. Didn't we talk to someone who said the locks were fixed? Because I felt foolish asking the question in the first place, but just wanted to cover my bases. And so at any rate, he did say, Nate Hayward said they're not moving inmates around, but he's updating the locks. Are you updating them because they're not working? And how can broken locks go on for years?
10 years almost, right? Yeah. I don't get it. I think it really comes down to something, and I don't like to be, I heard Mr. DeWitt say something yesterday that people who are in the doom cycle of negativity, and I don't like to be in that cycle. I want things to get better. But I'm not sure this government is capable of doing the basics in the city of St. Louis.
They ought to hire Georgianne.
Yeah, well,
she can. That woman can install a lock. I mean, she gets the drill out, and
she can get the basics done.
She could do it.
Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Georgianne's gonna take a job at the City Justice Center. Chick-fil-A is gonna take over for TSA, and our problems will be solved. Well, almost all of them. We did get some new information about St. Louis's growth or the lack of growth. We're going to talk to Hancock and Kelly about that next. It's the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Unlock a brighter outdoor space in 2026 with Chesterfield Valley Nursery. Let us be your trusted partner for all your landscaping, lawn, and gardening needs, empowering you to create a haven that brings joy and serenity to your life. From landscape design to property maintenance to our garden center, we're here for you. Houseplants, tree shrubs, organic soil mixes, gardening and plant classes, and more. Chesterfield Valley Nursery's Garden Center has what you need no matter what the season. Visit us weekdays from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Saturday hours start in March. Follow us on Facebook or Instagram for all class and sale updates.
It's been said that our eyes are the windows to the world, and so it stands to reason we should take care of those eyes, right? And wouldn't you want to entrust that care to vision experts? Well, that's what you'll find at Ophthalmology Associates, specialists in every field of eye care, and they all share the common mission to provide their patients the highest quality of personalized care and attention. Thorough eye exams, cataract treatment, advanced vision correction surgeries, all aspects of eye care that's right for you is right at Ophthalmology Associates. This is Rick Wallace. They have been my trusted partners in the health of my eyes for almost 30 years. They are the best. Ophthalmology Associates, Drs. Birdie, Malhotra, Brusati, and Royer, 3 St. Louis area locations. Visit youridoc.com or call 314-966-5000.
Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. Dr. Jean Wang, a WashU Medicine gastroenterologist at Siteman Cancer Center.
Once you're 45 and over, even if you're not having symptoms or even if you don't have a family history, we recommend everyone get screened for colorectal cancer because everyone is at risk. Everyone is at risk, even if you're not having symptoms.
This is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month, and for more information, you can visit siteman.wustl.edu.
Attention business owners with a net income over $500,000. You need to work with a tax strategist that understands your entrepreneurial mindset. Download the most recent white paper written by E3 Consultants Group titled The Power of a Professional Tax Strategy Team. Go to e3wealth.com/radio to obtain a copy. It's time to learn about wealth and tax strategies that protect your personal and business economy. E3 is ready to help you think differently about your finances. Educate, empower, enlighten. That's the E3 difference.
Rush Hour Sports, Matt Pauley, Kevin Wheeler with you here.
Bernie Miklasz joins Rush Hour Sports tonight at 5 on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
Well, we've got some new census data looking at how much the St. Louis region grew over the past year. And it's not great. And it is, I will say, we've got some numbers here that break down the region by the county and the city and so forth. But right now I'm talking about the entire region.
Both sides of the river.
I believe so. You know, it might just be the region on the Missouri side.
Okay.
It uses the phrase region and metro area, but it does not name any Illinois towns.
All right.
We have, sorry, it does. It does. I apologize. I'm an idiot. It does then list off the metro east, like St. Clair.
Madison.
Yep. I apologize. Inefficient notes. So the St. Louis region grew by 3,027 people in the past year. And that growth is last place for the 50 largest metro areas in the country. And it estimates, the U.S. Census Bureau reported that St. Louis's metro population of 2.814 million people ended July 1st, basically stayed flat. That's what we've got. Technically, it stayed flat, but it grew by just over 3,000. That's worst among large metro areas that gained people. And it also set us up to be overtaken by San Antonio. Is going to overtake us soon. He noted that the region lost, Ness Sandoval, a demographer at St. Louis University, noted that the region lost 1,382 people through domestic migration, and it had 2,300 more deaths than births.
Yeah, that's a real problem. Because we're old.
Yes, and so any of the growth came from international migration to the area.
And some of the cities that are growing, like San Antonio, is growing as a result of immigration. I mean, the fact that population growth in most cities is going down is not surprising. We're seeing that throughout the developed world.
Yes, across the country too.
And throughout the developed world, even in China and Japan, we're seeing populations, less people are reproducing. And it's more of the third world that's reproducing. Having said that, Ness Sandoval's been pulling this alarm for over a decade now here in St. Louis. St. Louis County scares the heck out of me. There's 1 million people out there. And for the first time in its history, there are more people over the age of 60 than there are under the age of 19. And that's a doom cycle. I mean, we're not replacing ourselves. We're getting older. That's the largest county in the state, in the region. And you look at this and you worry about where St. Louis is headed because we don't have people moving in. We're not replacing ourselves. And I don't know about your individual lives, but a bulk of the people that are a part of my family that are growing up are moving to other cities because that's where the opportunity is, whether it be Kansas City, Nashville, Chicago.
We could, given the fact that we've got these world-class universities here, producing college graduates, if we had a vibrant economy and growing businesses and relocated headquarters and had that kind of economic activity here, we would be able to retain a much higher percentage of these college graduates that are graduating from Washington University, St. Louis University, UMSL, Lindenwood. I mean, we've got these really great educational institutions here, but the job opportunities are elsewhere. And we're not going to have the job opportunities here, in my opinion, until we solve how we govern ourselves and then actually have an airport that could take you places from here.
Yeah.
Those two things are prerequisites to have a growing economy. We can get there, but we're a long way off.
This is anecdotal. I don't know if you guys saw this on social media yesterday with it being opening day. There is a Mizzou night at the Cubs game taking place, and everybody's outraged over it. But it makes sense. I mean, kids are graduating from Mizzou, a great school. They're going to where the jobs are.
Yeah.
And so there's people up in Chicago, and of course they're going to have a Mizzou night.
Well, and John, my son, went to Mizzou, and a number of his fraternity brothers were from Chicago, and they came and went to Mizzou, and then, but John now lives in Chicago, and he's got a whole bunch of his college buddies that live there.
Yeah.
Well, to Michael's point, that population growth has slowed across the majority of the nation's largest 3,000 counties, including the District of Columbia. A big reason we can all kind of note as well that international migration has declined this year. We've seen that. Now, breaking down the regions more, Ness Sandoval, the demographer from SLU, he said in St. Louis, the city continued its decades-long slide. It ended at around 278,000 residents, which was a loss of 2,300 people from the year before.
1 year.
And
Wow.
St. Louis County, the state's largest, lost 775 residents, ending at 990,000. 5 of 8 Metro East counties also lost population, including St. Clair and Madison. And Sandoval shared the IRS data showing that St. Louis County is losing adjusted gross income because of this. At the same time, it's grappling with its budget woes. And he said not a small reason is that some of the richer people in St. Louis County are moving to St. Charles County. And St. Charles County is not immune from this trend as well. It's just it's lagging behind the county and the city.
Yeah. And there's a point in which the region's either going to succeed or fail together. And you can't expect that collar counties are going to carry the economic ball for the St. Louis region. It's just not going to happen.
But it would be helpful, and I've been beating this drum, and I think you have as well, John, that if the collar counties also understood that you can't be a suburb to nowhere.
Right.
Yeah.
And the survival of this city matters. Now, being a person who grew up in St. Charles was always looked down upon by those of us from this side of the St. Louis side of the river. And now you have St. Charles people who say, hey, the problems of the city are not mine. No, in fact, they are.
They are. Yeah.
We're all in this together. If this city continues to fail, I'm telling you, St. Charles is on a fast track to failure as well.
30 years ago, if you think about what was happening in St. Louis, we had this massive influx of Bosnians who come to the city, that don't speak the language, live in a community. And 30 years hence, that community are entrepreneurs. They've moved out, had success in the region, some of our favorite restaurants. And one of the ways that historically urban centers have added population was immigration waves. It was the Irish coming to Boston, the Italians, Greek Americans, and the
Germans here in St. Louis.
Well, way back in the day.
Yeah.
And it was that wave of immigration that kind of fed the vital lifeblood of metropolitan urban areas. And, that has now essentially been shut down. And so to expect any city to grow appreciably is, not going to happen. It doesn't happen without immigration.
There's also something going on globally, right? Because the more education you have, the less likely you are to reproduce. When we were all, just a couple of decades ago, they were putting limits on how many babies could be had in China.
Yeah.
Well, now because of education, it's proven. And the more educated you are, the less likely you are to reproduce, and especially reproduce at the numbers that you may have been reproduced at 2 decades ago.
And China's unique. Because you're going to see lower procreation rates right in Finland and Sweden and Nordic countries and in the United States and in Canada. China, obviously unique because it had the one-child rule. And of course, in the culture, they were valuing boys more than girls. So you remember the window babies in the 90s? I remember reading about them, and there'd be mission work going over to save these baby girls. And then who could have expected this? But now there's 30 million more men than women because all of those girls were killed or not born. And so the government, knowing that the population is aging, has said you can have 2 kids. and people weren't having more kids. So they said, you can have 3 kids. People weren't having more kids. And now I'm not even sure there's a limit. And the people aren't having kids. And they said, why? Because laws and a way of life can change a culture. And what people got used to is what they could afford with 1 kid, what they could provide for that 1 kid. And if you start to have 2, 3, 4 kids, you're making different decisions. You're living a different life. Your finances look different. And people have decided, I kind of like what I can do with 1 kid. And that's something that I don't think, well, definitely the Chinese government didn't anticipate, but it makes sense. I mean,
of course,
you get into habits. They're in the habit of having 1 kid. Now the Chinese government saying have as many kids as you want. People aren't having them.
I guess I'm kind of jumping around on you guys too, but it seems to me we've really demonized Latinos and immigration from Mexico, right? Under the current world we're living in right now. But I'm not sure it's that much different than when the Irish were trying to get out of Ireland because they were dying and they wanted a better opportunity.
Yes.
And that's what helped the explosion of the United States. There's now more people from Ireland. What was 70 million people or something that say they're, of Irish descent here. And we're trying to stop
that number.
Latinos and Mexicans.
That number goes up in March.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, right. Yeah. But it's now we're trying to stop the Mexican immigration. And I don't know that it's any different than the immigration we saw from Europe, except they're brown.
That's true. But the anti-Mexican sentiment goes back to the 1920s in this country. We passed the Undesirable Alien Act in 1924, and it was specifically targeted at Mexicans because the people at the time didn't want Mexicans coming in and marrying their kids. And that law formed the basis of much of the immigration, the tortuous immigration policies at the southern border to get into this country legally. And you talk to anybody in agriculture, they need folks from Mexico in order to make ends meet.
Yeah.
I like the native St. Louisan. I don't know where she lives now, but Kathleen Madigan is from St. Louis. And she had a really great idea to solve immigration is that we made it where you just voted people on and off. Here's this guy. He's a doctor. He's living in a basement. You get to be an American. This guy's living in his mom's basement. You're out.
Yes. Oh, there you go.
She's like, we could do a popular American Idol contest. I'm
Was
like,
she
oh
from
my gosh.
Florissant? I think Kathleen Madigan was from Florissant. Maybe.
I don't know. One of my friends is a distant cousins of hers.
Really?
And, yeah. And my friend,
well done.
she always says, did you tell them? I don't even know. Actually, I don't know if I can say this because she's Irish.
Right.
So she throws in some of the stereotypes.
Right.
She's like, I'm an angry, drunken Irish woman. Did you tell them that? And I said, I don't think I told them you were drunk. I don't know. I was like, I don't know. What do you want me to say? But she's really funny. She is a cousin of Kathleen Madigan. And she leans into that, like, the way I could say it is just that sarcastic. She can hold a beer. She's super sarcastic and funny. Yeah. And she leans into her Irish ancestry.
Before we leave for this segment, John and I were down in Florida with Ackerman, Mike Claiborne, and Dave Glover, and we were all talking, and we were kind of having some fun because Claiborne, of course, knows everybody in St. Louis. And there was a side conversation that Dave and I had, which was St. Louis is a little bit different than maybe even Chicago or some of the other cities because in other places, in 4 or 5 people, you can get to somebody.
6 degrees of separation.
In St. Louis, it's less than that.
It's like 2. Yeah.
You're related or it doesn't matter. If Jackie Joyner Kersey, I've never met the lady, but if I wanted to, it's something that could happen because it's St. Louis. I'm going to know somebody who's a cousin or a friend.
That's pretty funny.
Doesn't exist in other places.
She watches the show.
Actually, I've met Jackie Joyner.
Yeah.
Not a good example.
Of course you have. Okay. All right. I have 2 questions that we're going to get to next. One, can we just get rid of the TSA? And 2, are people who take naps terrible? The Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
Fascinating.
Calling all runners. Register now for the Cardinals 5K on Saturday, April 18th, and you can take a victory lap on the field at Busch Stadium. Don't miss this chance to bring the whole family for a fun St. Louis 5K race that brings fans together to support kids in the community. The Cardinals 5K, Saturday, April 18th. Register now at cardinals.com/5K. And for more information, just head to KMOX.com. TSA.gov/events.
Spreadsheets, clunky software, 100 different logins just to run your business? Ah.
There's a better way. Odoo. One simple, connected platform that handles sales, inventory, accounting, and more, so you can focus on growing, not juggling. Make the switch today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
It is 40 degrees in downtown St. Louis here at the Arch. It's partly cloudy. It'll be that way all evening, a high of only 56, and it looks like almost an exact replica tomorrow.
100 years. That's how long Overhead Door Company of St. Louis has been repairing and replacing garage doors. A century of trust in St. Louis. Always look for the iconic red ribbon of Overhead Door Company of St. Louis for same-day repair service and no extra charge for evening or Saturday service. Trust your friends at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Schedule online at overheaddoorstlouis.com. That's overheaddoorstlouis.com.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Really getting down to it in the college basketball season. It's been so much fun so far. And right now, new FanDuel customers get up to $300 back in bonus bets every day for 10 days if the bet loses. This is how it works. Follow me on this. You place a tournament bet. You use the token. If it doesn't win, you'll get up to $300 back in bonus bets every single day for 10 straight days. That's an awesome thing to have. And you can even mix things up with a same game parlay if you're looking at a shot for a bigger payout. Go to FanDuel.com/Missouri to sign up today. That's FanDuel.com/Missouri. You must be 21 or over and present in Missouri. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable and expire 7 days after receipt. Tokens are received in increments of 1 per day. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
John Hancock, can we just abolish the TSA? No, and joking aside.
Yeah.
I forgot how new the TSA is.
Yeah.
It existed after September 11th. So,
well, the whole Department of Homeland Security didn't exist until after.
But TSA specifically is funded by, I think it's $11.30 for every plane flight. Even if you're on reward travel, you have to pay the TSA fee, which is makes no sense to me why in a government shutdown, when the fee is being paid, that the TSA is not covered.
So there's a piece in Reason magazine, and I get it, libertarians here, but they noted a DHS investigation. So Department of Homeland Security investigation in 2015 found that undercover operatives successfully got mock explosives or banned weapons through airport security 95% of the time. And there was a writer for Reason who said at the time, experts have long emphasized that the TSA is geared towards assuring the public that something very important is being done to keep people safe, even as money and energy is squandered on pointless activities and useless devices.
I don't like that you just informed me of that. That makes me really nervous.
It's terrifying.
Well, I mean, I will say this. They wouldn't let me get through that line with that CPAP without taking a look at it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean,
Yeah.
one of those rogue CPAPs out there.
But if there is Clear, right, which is a private company, and I'm not saying I'm for this or against this. I just had never thought of it because I forgot the TSA didn't always exist. Is that something you would privatize?
Well, hold on a second.
Airport
Because
security?
I am a Clear member, and all Clear does is take you up to the TSA where you don't really have to wait in line like most of the people who are just waiting in TSA. The screening's still done by the Homeland Security. Even if you're a Clear member, you still got to take your bag out and put it all on there and take your stuff out of your pockets. You don't get to just bypass all that. Right?
I don't.
No, I'm a member.
I don't know.
I'm telling
This
you.
was just in Reason Magazine, and we can hear from you 314-436-7900. And I just forgot it didn't always exist because it's just been there. Do we have time to talk about naps?
I think this is such a big topic. It's got to be saved. I don't
Should
know.
we just ask John without? Okay, John, we're going to talk about this later in the show. Unfortunately, we went long talking about the Irish, apparently. I'm not sure.
Yeah, something happened.
Yeah, something happened. And there's an actor, John Bernthal, who hates people who take naps. He thinks they're terrible and they're wasting their lives.
He's wrong. Now, if you're taking a nap every day for 2 hours, then he's got a point. But if you're a person who can, and we can if we train ourselves, grab a 5 to 7 to 10 minute little power nap, the re-energizing effect that brings is remarkable. So if you're feeling yourself exhausted and dragging and it's 2:00 in the afternoon, take 5 or 10 minutes, shut it down, close your eyes, lay back, and in 10 minutes up, and it's like recharging the battery.
Is it an old wives' tale? But wasn't it that Einstein would do 20-minute naps and never really slept? He was just always up and would take 20-minute naps.
I
Is that
don't
an
know.
old wives' tale?
I don't think that would be a good way to live, but
Do you have to set your alarm?
no. And you don't really go to sleep so much as you just shut everything down.
It's
Do you
almost
rec-
like a meditation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you recommend setting an alarm? Because I think I don't have narcolepsy, but it's adjacent. If I closed my eyes, I'm out.
Really?
My problem with naps too is once I get into it, say I took a nap at 3:00.
Yeah.
And I wake up at 4:30, I could just as easily keep those eyes closed, and the next thing you know, I'm going the rest of the day.
Yeah. And don't use a blanket if you're taking a 10-minute nap.
Oh, you want to be cold.
Yeah, I'd sit up. I sit up. Yep.
Wow, this is very interesting. Well, thank you, John Hancock.
Happy to be of service.
Michael Kelly is hanging with me the rest of the show while Chris Ranji is out. It's the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
If you live in Missouri, have Medicaid, and need a caregiver, this message is important. Care at home is personal. That's why you may not want a stranger in your home to take care of you. You want someone who already knows you and your daily routines. With Freedom Care, you choose a trusted family member, a friend, or a neighbor. They will get paid after every shift to care for you, and it's 100% free to you. More than 70,000 people have already joined the Freedom Care family. Call your local Freedom Care. They'll check your Medicaid eligibility. Don't wait until a stranger shows up at your door. If you have Medicaid and need help at home, this care is available 100% free to you. Call Freedom Care now to see if you qualify. 314-907-0892. 314-907-0892. That's 314-907-0892.
Freedom Care, we're here for you.
During Lowe's Pro Savings Days, the job works in your favor. My Lowe's Pro Rewards members buy more and save more on materials they rely on every day. Get up to 25% off select molding when you spend $1,000 or more, and up to 25% off Pergo Evercraft laminate flooring. Put Pro Savings Days to work for you. Members get more at Lowe's. Valid through 3/27. Selection varies by location while supplies last. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit the Pro Desk or Lowe's.com/terms for more details. Subject to change.
Breakfast burritos for the morning brainstorm. Easy Cater. Paninis for the lunch and learn. Easy Cater. Barbecue for the clients from Boston. Easy Cater. Brownie boxes and mini bundt cakes for Brenda's workiversary. Easy Cater. One simple platform to feed any size group with food they love from favorite restaurants, plus tools to help you meet dietary needs and stay on budget. Easy Cater. All the food for your workplace, all in one place. Start an order at easycater.com.
March is a season of fresh starts, more daylight, new energy, a perfect time to take a fresh look at your home. If your windows or doors are outdated, inefficient, or simply not performing the way they should, upgrading doesn't have to feel overwhelming. With Renewal by Andersen, from your first design consultation through final installation, every detail is handled by one experienced, dedicated Fibrex material, stronger than vinyl and designed to perform in extreme temperatures. You get durability that matches the service behind it. No coordinating multiple companies, no confusion, just a thoughtfully managed process from start to finish. Right now, during our March savings event, take $400 off every window and $800 off every door. Plus, receive a free upgrade to Smart Sunglass with no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. You can move forward now and invest with confidence. But this offer ends March 31st. Call us at 877-WINDOWS or visit www.rbastl.com today. Renewal by Andersen. Superior products, exceptional service.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It is 10 o'clock, cloudy skies, 41 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey. A big fire in Cahokia Heights this morning.
We got here and we had about 10 cars that surrounded the building that were on fire also. And then the wind played a factor trying to get into, get close enough to get water on the fire with the smoke conditions and the wind pushing it, the fire even faster than what we could get to.
Cahokia Heights Fire Chief Stephen Robbins says the fire engulfed 2 businesses, several vehicles, with reports of vehicle tires exploding from the heat. That smoke blanketed parts of I-255 near 157 this morning. Farmers around the world facing fertilizer shortages and rising costs after the war in Iran disrupts shipments through the Strait of Hormuz, which handles a third of global fertilizer trade.
Rising natural gas prices are also driving up costs for farmers, just as planting in the Northern Hemisphere begins. Teresa Sisung is with the Michigan Farm Bureau.
Because it's a global market, there's demand all over globally, so that's causing the price increase.
The price of fertilizer is up more than 30% since the start of the Iran war. Jim Crisilla, CBS News.
President Trump once again extending the deadline for Iran to open the Strait of Hormuz after threatening to obliterate their power plants. Trump says talks with Iran are going very well, but Iran denies any direct talks and shows no signs of easing its blockade. CBS News foreign correspondent Chris Livesay is in the United Arab Emirates, where actions are being taken to try to open the strait.
There are reports that they want to start an international task force in order to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. They want other Gulf states to get involved, which have all been hit really hard.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio in Paris today to speak with a group of 7 foreign ministers trying to get their help.
Secretary Rubio told reporters, quote, "It's the world that has a great interest in the strait, so they should step up and deal with it."
That's CBS's Aaron Navarro. Cahokia Heights mayor and other city officials holding a news conference today to address water complaints. That's going on. It started actually just 2 minutes ago. It comes after dozens of resident-led testing samples recently found E. coli in the tap water. St. Louis water customers can attend upcoming town halls on upcoming rate increases. The Water Division projecting a nearly $10 million deficit by the end of June, 399 water main breaks last year, more than 100 already this year. Officials say the system faces $700 million in infrastructure needs. Those town halls are set for April 8th and April 16th. From the KMOX business desk, tech companies set ambitious climate goals at the start of the decade, promising to slash emissions that contribute to global warming. Instead, companies' greenhouse gas emissions are spiking as they race to deploy artificial intelligence, building sprawling data centers that use more power than entire cities. They're also using more natural gas, a fossil fuel that in 2024 accounted for more than 40% of electricity powering those data centers.
Breezy and much colder this afternoon than it was yesterday, with some sunshine returning, the high 55. Tonight will turn out clear and colder, low 32. Mostly sunny tomorrow, but still rather chilly, the high 57. On Sunday, intervals of clouds and sun becoming breezy and warmer, high 72. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's cloudy and 41 degrees right now. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Chris Ranji, Amy Marks Kors. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's Friday morning, and Michael Kelly sitting in for Chris Ranji. And joining us now is one of our favorites, Sarah Fenske, executive editor of St. Louis Magazine. We've got a couple of issues we need to get into with Sarah Fenske. But Sarah, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, no problem.
It's been a lot of fun reading the work that you guys do in St. Louis Magazine. We've talked to Ryan Kroll several times. I highly recommend everyone sign up for your morning newsletter. That's a lot of fun, and that's a good way to keep up as well.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that's the main thing I'm working on these days, is trying to make this morning newsletter a must read. So I appreciate the plug.
All right. Well, let's get into these shakedown lawsuits that I know we talked about, maybe a couple of months ago. And basically, the Missouri House and Senate right now have given approval to bills that would curb lawsuits that are these shakedown lawsuits over websites that aren't compliant with the Americans with Disabilities Act. And we had talked, there was a story that was done about this Kansas City lawyer who represented a blind man in Caldwell County who would literally sue like hundreds of restaurants because their website, he said, didn't necessarily comply with the Americans with Disabilities Act because there might be maybe some obscure feature. So give us kind of the rundown about what we're looking at here, because it seemed very messed up.
Oh, it was so messed up. So I spent some time working on this last year, talking to these people who'd been subject to these lawsuits. And to them, it just felt like terrorism. You get this letter from a lawyer that you've never met, representing a person who's never come to your business. And this person is saying, well, I was interested in coming to your business, but when I went to your website, it was impossible for me as a blind man to read it. And keep in mind, this is a guy who claims that he's going to be driving like 4 hours across the state, supposedly to have dinner at like a whole bunch of different St. Louis restaurants. And so, this guy's lawyer is like, yeah, and if you don't pay me $5,000, I'm taking this thing to court. And some of them tried to call the bluff. He took them to court. Then they end up having to hire lawyers and try to come up with a settlement. In other cases, people are like, okay, great. I guess I don't have money to make payroll this month because I have to pay this lawyer to go away. And one of the things I want to make sure I mention this, because at first when I heard about this, I'm like, okay, of course, we have to care about the Americans with Disabilities Act. Like, we don't want people who are disabled not to be able to use our businesses. But nowhere in this act do they spell out the specifications that websites need to follow. It's kind of like you've created this target that's impossible to hit because it could keep changing.
Yeah, and that is one of the interesting elements of this, that he's exploiting this law. We mentioned that Kansas City lawyer, as St. Louis Magazine points out, this lawyer has filed at least 70 lawsuits on the same man's behalf, including 28 in the St. Louis area in the past year alone. And I think it was your story that said, we're not even sure this lawyer's website is compliant.
Yeah.
Like his website doesn't look any different. He's just trying to terrorize restaurants and get money.
Yeah, you can see why these businesses felt like this was a shakedown. And honestly, when I was working on this months ago, I was getting so angry on behalf of these businesses. I was like, can't anyone do anything about this? Like, this just doesn't feel American. And I have to say, I seldom say this in response to anything happening in the news, but I'm like, well, the Missouri legislature has rode in to solve the problem. And I'm not being sarcastic. They actually did.
Yeah. So tell us, the lawmakers who are behind this, one, was it media coverage that brought it to their attention in the first place? Was it the restaurateurs? How did they become aware of the situation? And then how did that action first start gaining momentum?
Yeah, I think honestly it was brought to their attention by like these chambers of commerce and like local business associations that were hearing from business people. I do think the media coverage helped, not to pat myself on the back, but it helped businesses understand, oh, we're not alone. Like, this guy is coming after all of our buddies. And so then I think people went to their chambers of commerce and said, hey, like, you guys have lobbyists. Can you make something happen here? And so this lawmaker that I talked to yesterday, who's the sponsor of the Senate bill that just got passed, he's a Republican down in Cape Fear, like very far from St. Louis. I don't think he was reading St. Louis Magazine, but this same lawyer was filing lawsuits down there. And so this guy's like, yeah, I got to do something. And I think it was an easy sell with people in both the House and the Senate. I can't remember the last time I've heard this. They literally got unanimous votes in both the House and the Senate on these bills because people were hearing from businesses saying, yeah, this affects us too. This affects us too.
Yeah. And Sarah, this guy just seems, like this is something, the reason people would hate lawyers, right?
Yeah.
And there almost needs to be a self-policing of other lawyers saying, we're not going to do this. We need to expose this guy and go after him and put this lawyer on the hot seat because this is just nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is kind of maddening. And honestly, as I looked into this a little bit when I was covering it more aggressively, it looks like he might just be the tool of some lawyer who I believe was in Florida. Like, there are these guys who know how to, like, okay, here's this part of the law that we can exploit across the country. We just need to find one lawyer in every state, and they just need to find a disabled person to sort of stand in as the person suing. And a Kansas City television station, I have to give them credit for this great scoop. They figured out that the blind man that this Kansas City lawyer was representing, this was somebody who was renting property from one of this lawyer's relatives.
Oh,
so
my
it's
gosh.
like, did
Wow.
he go to this guy and suggest he should file these lawsuits? That seems really unethical. If all that is true, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a bar complaint.
Wow. Well, you note in your story that there's a Maryland attorney who was sanctioned in 2023 after he filed more than 1,000 of these cases. They were near identical suits over hotel website accessibility on behalf of the same two people. A disciplinary panel did recommend a 6-month suspension for him, but that is just abusing the system. A lawyer going up to someone, like you said, the Kansas City guy, if this man was renting property from his relatives, he might have said, hey, I have an idea.
Yeah.
Let's terrorize restaurants across Missouri.
I'm for terrorizing this lawyer. Let's go see if he's got all of his ADA compliant getting into his building.
Right.
If he's got the proper sidewalks. I mean, this is why people hate lawyers, and lawyers do such good things that when folks exploit the system like this, it's just tragic. Are there requirements for businesses to comply with the ADA, or is this simply made up? Because I think a lot, like you said, all of us want to make sure that everybody can access our businesses, but are there any rules as it relates to websites for ADA?
My understanding is that is just not something that the law even contemplated at the time that it was passed. But because of the language that was in this law, this is kind of where even good lawyers, I have to roll my eyes at. You can put language in the law saying it must be accessible to people with disabilities. Well, a creative lawyer is going to come in and go, yes, that means it has to be, the website must then be accessible to anyone who'd want to access it, and that could be a blind person. And so they sort of like push the limits of what language means. And honestly, some good things have come out of that. Like, that's in some ways how we managed to discover that everybody has equal rights under the Constitution, when clearly way back in the day, that wasn't really something that the founders intended. So the fact that language can be a little bit elastic, I'm glad women have the right to vote. I'm not so glad to see these businesses terrorized by.
Well, and I'm a business owner, and I have a hard enough time updating my website from 2 years ago with new employees. I can't imagine if I had to be compliant with regular updates that come like this.
Well, Sarah, I want to talk about a story also that you wrote in St. Louis Magazine about the St. Louis personnel director. And this, I believe, just went up a few hours ago this morning. But I also want to let people know that we, the Chris and Amy show, every Friday will be talking with someone from St. Louis Magazine, whether it's you or Ryan Kroll or someone else, which is what we're really excited to collab with you guys and have this regular conversation. And the newest story up, I believe, is about Brian Light, the St. Louis personnel director. I love your writing style because here is your lead. Brian Light might have the most thankless job in the city of St. Louis, which is saying something.
Thank you. I was cracking myself up while writing it. Because honestly, as I was talking to this guy, I'm like, oh, he's so competent. And I just love a competent person. Like, this is a sign of how old and boring I'm getting. But if I meet somebody where I'm like, oh, they are on top of stuff. They are smart. They are just trying to get things done. I'm like, glory, hallelujah. We need more of that in this town. So I'm thinking about how much I enjoyed talking to this guy and how competent he seems. And then I'm thinking, oh my God, that personnel department, it has been a morass for decades. Like, God bless this man.
Yeah. Well, what do people need to know about him, and what do people need to know about the challenge he is facing right now?
Yeah, I think a lot of the problems in the city of St. Louis, frankly, have gone back to the issue of the personnel department just hasn't caught up with the times. If you talk to anybody about, well, why are you having such trouble picking up my trash in a timely way? Why aren't the streets paved? Why aren't the parks getting mowed? They'll tell you, we just don't have enough people working here. Part of that has been that people haven't been paid enough. But if you look at the benefits package that the city has, there's actually really generous retirement packages in there. And I think if people better understood, okay, maybe you're going to make this amount up front, but then once you put in your 30 years, you can retire and get that salary for the rest of your life. That's a better job than I've got, for one example. So yeah. I think, if the personnel department was more on top of being able to hire good people, you wouldn't see the shortages that the city has had that has led to, frankly, every year they now have these massive budget surpluses because people can't hire enough people. And, everybody's got horror stories about they apply for a city job, they would have an interview, and then 6 months later, I'm not kidding, they might get a snail mail letter in the mail saying, yes, we'd like to hire you for this job. 6 months later. And the fact it comes in the mail, I mean, it was just absurd. So this guy is trying to clean up those kind of systems, and he's already making some progress. They're now rigorously tracking how long it takes to do things around there. It used to be it took 111 days from a job being posted to being able to make somebody an offer. They've now got that down to 51 days. That's not great for the private sector, but hey, for the public sector, that's pretty good. So he's trying to clean up all the boring stuff behind the scenes that will allow departments that need to hire people to be able to get good people in there and do it in an efficient way.
How did it take so long for them to fix this system? I do not have I don't know, I'm not the most organized person. Don't have a brain for that, for being organized. And even I would know that 6 months and a snail mail letter to someone who is looking for a job is ludicrous. That's not going to work.
Yeah, it was such a weird little fiefdom. I remember talking to Tashara Jones's chief of staff, Jared Boyd, who's just a super smart guy. And he was like, we understand personnel is like the biggest thing we need to deal with. And as we're sort of uncovering what's happening here, this is such a huge problem. But it was like they didn't have full control over it because in classic St. Louis style, the personnel director doesn't necessarily report only to the mayor. There's also this whole civil service commission they have to report to. They didn't necessarily have the power to fire that person. They had to, prove that in a lawsuit in order to even show that they could get rid of somebody who deeply embarrassed the city. And then once you start digging into this stuff, it is really complicated to correct bad processes once people have locked into them. And I think that's why I really appreciated this guy, Brian Light. He seemed just kind of he spent 25 years in Oregon state government and gained a reputation of somebody who knew how to just fix the boring, basic things. So he's just looking at processes, trying to figure out how do we do this quicker? How do we get people to move? How do we get departments to communicate better between each other? It's the kind of tedious stuff most of us wouldn't want to mess with.
Mm-hmm.
But boy, is it essential for somebody to get in there and fix it.
I love it. Really good stuff, as always, from Sarah Fenske. You can go to the St. Louis Magazine website, stlmag.com. You can do what I did, which sign up for their morning newsletter. And really excited, grateful that someone from St. Louis Magazine will be joining the Chris and Amy show every Friday at 10 a.m. You guys are the best. Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you very much.
Talk to you soon. That is Sarah Fenske, executive editor of St. Louis Magazine. Well, now, Michael Kelly, it's time for us to talk about Barch Madness.
Oh, yeah.
Because we have arrived at the Sloppy 16.
Oh, what a terrible name. The Sloppy 16.
That's next on the Chris and Amy Show.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. Since 1898, we've been building homes in St. Louis with the same commitment to quality craftsmanship, prime locations, and personalized service. And now we're celebrating 128 years with our 1898 sale. For a limited time, save $18,980 plus receive $10,000 to $15,000 in cash at closing on all to-be-built homes. Visit McKelveyHomes.com to learn more. Isn't it time to move up to McKelvey Homes?
Turning 50 doesn't mean slowing down. It means getting smarter about your health. That's why we created Neovitin Men's 50 Plus Multivitamin. It's doctor formulated to support your energy, immune health, and overall vitality. Plus, it's made in the U.S. using the finest domestic and international ingredients. Take control of your health with supplements you can trust. Look for Neovitin Men's 50 Plus at your local Schnucks, Dierbergs, or online at neovitin.com. Neovitin, made for men who keep moving forward.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.
When it comes to your hearing, you deserve expert care. At the Audiology Center, you're treated by certified audiologists Dr. Colleen Bosler, Dr. Adam Foss, and Dr. Bailey Campbell, meaning 8 years of advanced education, clinical expertise, and a commitment to best practices.
Charlie, we offer hearing aids from all major manufacturers, so you get what's best for you. Every patient receives individualized testing, precise fittings using real ear measurements, and personalized programming to ensure your hearing aids perform exactly as they should. And our care doesn't stop once you leave the office. We're committed to helping your hearing aids last through ongoing adjustments, maintenance, and long-term support at no extra cost. Better hearing is personal, not one size fits all. Call us today at 636-441-7470 or visit us online at theaudiologycenterstl.com. And let's take that first step together.
Bernie Miklas here for Saliga Heating and Cooling. Our family's called the Saliga family for 18 years, and we are grateful for Saliga's honesty, knowledge, and professionalism. They're the best. For more info, visit SaligaHeatingandCooling.com.
A century strong. The voice of St. Louis. KMOX.
We've done it. We've made it to the sloppy 16. And again, how do you vote in our March Madness? Looking at the best bars in the St. Louis area. Michael, go ahead.
You go to @ChrisAmy KMOX on Twitter.
That's exactly right.
And that's how you can vote.
And it's pinned to the top, and then you got to click on it.
Click on it.
Click on it.
Sloppy 16.
16?
Amy's already.
You said 16.
Well, it's a sloppy one.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
@ChrisAmy KMOX on Twitter. Then you click on the link there and you'll be able to vote.
And we've got, as Michael pointed out, all of our number ones still in the tournament.
And there's no schlubs left in this. And I'm not suggesting anybody in this tournament was a schlub. Everybody deserved to be there. But you got the biggest names in St. Louis bars now competing.
I'm still bummed that Hooters South County did not win the play-in round.
I can't believe it's still open.
Yeah. Oh, the Hooters crowd loves the Chris and Amy show.
Really?
Because when we were trying to name all the Hooters that were still open, they really came up for us.
Really?
Yeah, they did.
Can't even say the last time I was in a Hooters.
Matthew, when was the last time you were in a Hooters?
Never been to a Hooters, but I went to Twin Peaks maybe a few weeks ago.
Never been to one of those.
It's in Brentwood. It's right there. It's
Is
close
it?
to me. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
fun.
Same situation.
Yeah.
You know what?
Same great chicken wings. Yeah.
I think we
Is
should.
that what it's all about?
I think we should blame Matt for Hooters not being in the tournament. If you needed to go. At any rate,
So
in
all the
the-
number one seeds, Amy, McGurk's, Amsterdam Tavern, O.B. Clark's, and Fast Eddie's Bon Air are all still in this, but they've got some real solid competition they're facing.
in the Eberhard-Anheuser region, the number one McGurk's seed is taking on Seamus McDaniels.
Great place.
Wow. They're a number 4 seed. Duke's, a number 3 seed, taking on Helen Fitzgerald's.
Interesting, because Helen Fitzgerald's beat Maggie O'Brien's. Here's an
I
interesting
know.
fact.
Yeah.
Owned by the same guy.
Really?
My buddy
It
Eddie
is?
McVeigh, yes.
He owns both of them?
Yes, same.
Man, how much does he love the Maggie O'Brien's facelift?
Well,
I mean, it
he
looks
did that.
unbelievable. He did a
Yeah.
great job.
Don't you love it? The McVeighs, we have the Irish bar names here. And how about Fast Eddie's? Is there a bigger bar on the east side than Fast Eddie's? It's taking on St. Louis U's Humphreys.
Which is riding a wave of momentum because Josh Schertz was there serving beers. Hey, real quick, does Eddie McVeigh know that Helen Fitzgerald is in our March Madness tournament?
I don't know. I'll have to ask him.
All right. Also in the Adolphus Busch region, Milo's Mochi Garden is taking on Patio's. Milo's is a number 3 seed. Patio's a number 2 seed.
And to me, Patio's more of a seasonal bar, right? Gets all of its
Yeah,
attention
true.
when the Cardinals are in town. Milo's just one of those staples of the hill
Mhm.
that everybody goes to. And great dude there, Joe Vollmer, the owner over at Milo's Bocce Garden.
That's right. Do you know all the owners of all of these bars?
No, I just know some people.
You know a lot of people.
Yeah, right.
The William J. Lemp region.
Oh, yeah.
This is Amsterdam Tavern, a number 1 seed, taking on Venice Cafe, a number 4 seed. They do have a
Yes.
lot of live music at Venice
Well,
Cafe.
yes, and probably the most exquisite and unique decor in all of St. Louis bars.
Yeah. Very eclectic.
Very eclectic. Good word.
Tam Avenue, number 2 seed, taking on number 7, Sportsman's Park.
Now, Sportsman's Park, it's just one of those places that you got to love it.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, it's in Ladue. And who would think that there's a dirty hole-in-the-wall bar in Ladue,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
But it is that.
It's
and
that.
it's got that. And you'll run into anyone who's anybody in St. Louis. In
Yeah.
fact, if you ever want to run into Tom Ackerman, it is safe to say you should probably try lunch there sometime.
that's a good bet.
Uh-huh.
Man, I know that you'll see the biggest name in St. Louis sports. They'll
Jack
swing on by
Buck
there.
was
Yeah.
there. That was his place.
That's right. Speaking of the biggest names in St. Louis sports,
Well,
O.B.
hockey.
Clark's. O.B.
Mhm.
Clark's, a number 1 seed, taking on the Village Bar, a number 13 seed. That might be our deepest seed
Yeah.
to make it this far.
How many bars can claim that the Stanley Cup solely went to your bar? O.B. Clark's, right?
Well, I think it was
They
the first one.
Yeah, they went there and showed up on right after they won it.
Because then they took it to the Hill, and I
Oh,
know they
yeah.
filled it with raviolis.
Charlie Gito's, right?
Charlie Gito's. That's right. That's
Mm.
right. But O.B. Clark's and Village Bar are 2 of my favorites.
Yeah.
So this is a tough matchup. I imagine O.B. Clark's is going to squeak on through, but Village Bar, number 13 seed, doing well. Dee's Place,
Never been.
a number 2 seed, taking on Broadway Oyster Bar, also a number 2 seed.
One of the best music places in town.
Yeah.
Wednesday nights, they've got the Voodoo Players that
Uh-huh.
play there. I love it. They're good. They're good people.
Matthew, we've got the voting up live at Chris Amy
Yeah.
on Twitter. When does the Sloppy 16 voting round end?
This will end Monday morning
Before our show starts?
before our show starts.
Then we go to what name have you given the 8?
The Inebriate.
How good is that? The Inebriate?
Finally, well, you
Dude.
made up for your disappointing name here for the Sloppy
I mean,
16.
Barch Madness is stupid.
Barch. Well, I giggled at it the first time I heard it. I thought it was a misstatement.
Yeah.
And then I realized,
A mistake.
you did
March
it
Madness.
purposely.
But here's the thing.
Clever.
You have to tell your family, you have to tell your friends, because we're not on the air this weekend. This is the last show where we get to tell you to go vote. So what you need to do is go knock on doors, probably Tell people, make phone calls, send out chain emails.
Totally.
Yeah, to get people to vote at Chris Amy KMOX on Twitter.
Execute the phone tree. Remember that when you were a kid, when they were closing school?
Oh
they
my
executed
gosh,
the
or
phone
soccer
tree?
practice change.
Yes.
That's right. I forgot about
Pull
the phone
out the
tree.
old phone tree list and let people know they need to go vote at Chris Amy KMOX on Twitter.
That's exactly right. He is Michael Kelly. I'm Amy Mark Scores. Jen Cease, St. Louis City SC broadcaster on Y98. She joins us next.
For your best vision, visit the Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates. They're the doctors' doctors. And what that means is more than 250 doctors trust their eyes to the Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates, Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranja Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. So you should trust your eyes to them as well. Doctors Birdie and Malhotra are also cornea surgeons. They're experts in diagnosis and treatment of diseases of the eye, dry eye, allergy eyes, cataracts, macular degeneration, glaucoma, and yes, they do LASIK surgery as well. So do it today. Make an appointment with the doctors, the Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates, and protect your sight. Call them at 314-966-5000. That's 314-966-5000 or youridoc.com. You can find Ophthalmology Associates at 12990 Manchester Road, just a half mile west of 270 on eastbound Manchester. youridoc.com.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
It's 42 degrees in downtown St. Louis. It'll be partly cloudy all afternoon, a high of 56. Hey, the exact same temperatures tomorrow, except sunshine.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. Dr. Jean Wang, a WashU Medicine gastroenterologist at Siteman Cancer Center.
Our young onset colorectal cancer center focuses on the problems that younger patients might have. And we pay attention to things like fertility, support with trying to manage childcare and caring for older parents during that time. It's a great resource for these younger patients.
Visit siteman.wustl.edu.
Hi, it's Kevin Wheeler here with Gloria Liu of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Welcome back, Gloria. For years now, you've been on KMOX helping families plan their next big move with your Guaranteed Sold program. So for those planning to sell their home this year, what's your best advice?
Thank you. My advice is simple. Do your homework before listing your home. Our market is stabilizing. Inventory is tightening and moving fast. In other words, the realtor you choose to sell your home really matters. That's why my sellers love my guaranteed sale program. I guarantee to sell your home at your agreed upon price and time frame, or I will buy it myself. I have thousands of buyers in my buyers in waiting database, so your home may already been sold before it's ever hit the market. Higher demand, more competition, and more money for your home.
Friends, if you want a realtor who will guarantee results, call the one that I trust. Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Calling all runners. Register now for the Cardinals 5K on Saturday, April 18th, and you can take a victory lap on the field at Busch Stadium. Don't miss this chance to bring the whole family for a fun St. Louis 5K race that brings fans together to support kids in the community. The Cardinals 5K, Saturday, April 18th. Register now at cardinals.com/5K. And for more information, just head to KMOX.com/events.
Debuting Tuesday, March 31st. It's All Access with Cardinals manager Ollie Marmol. Get inside your Redbirds in the 2026 season every Tuesday at noon on your voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
Well, it was called the Sloppy 16 because I was sloppy and I've messed up.
Oh, no.
Okay, Helen Fitzgerald's is actually owned by the Cybergs. Now, how I might have messed that up is I've had drinks there with Eddie McVeigh, and I just assumed that he was the owner of it. But I'm almost positive at one time or another, maybe he managed it or whatever. But actually, it's the Cybergs who own Helen Fitzgerald. Put your phones down, guys. Everything's fine. It was a mess up. It was a sloppy mistake by MSK. Often wrong, never in doubt. Yeah.
Everybody just calm
Everybody chill
down.
out. Have a beer. Go vote.
In the Sloppy 16.
In the Sloppy 16.
I wonder if this fine broadcaster has voted yet in the Sloppy 16, and that would be St. Louis City SC broadcaster on Y98, Jen Cease, joining us as she does every Friday. Jen, have you voted in the Sloppy 16 yet?
I haven't, but I got to tell you, I don't know if I can do this interview anymore if Michael Kelly's going to make a mistake like that.
Oh, my God, Jen. I noticed you chose not to come in today.
Oh,
when
my gosh.
Ranji's here, you come in studio.
Yes, Jen. Well, she'll be on the phone, but the first thing, Jen, that Michael said is, will she coming in studio? And I said, I don't think so. And he crestfallen.
Yeah, I was
Crestfallen.
disappointed. I was just like, wait a minute.
Well, then you got to give me a heads up next time, but you got to give a girl time because then that means I got to take a shower. I got to blow dry my hair. I have to brush my teeth. And I don't like to do that every day.
Yeah, well, I get that. I'm with you. But listen, after the day we had yesterday here in downtown St. Louis with the Cardinals winning and the Blues winning,
Right?
tell me that our soccer team, by the way, the lights were on the stadium this morning when I came in. We're going to continue this momentum with St. Louis City.
Yeah, well, they just won too, so I guess it's all started with that. So yeah, and the lights were, I'm thinking, likely on in the stadium because we're in for the first international break. I know it's so weird. Frank, the producer, called me and said it's still a little bit weird to have. We've only had a few games and there's already a break.
Right.
Yep. Because we're not on the schedule of the rest of the world. They're already, well into their seasons more than we are. But I think St. Louis City is, well, I know they are, they're replacing the pitch. So the side comes up, new side goes down at some point in time. I've been there one time when they've done it where it's a really, really intricate process. It's quite amazing, actually. I didn't know you could get a PhD in that kind of science and that kind of work, but that's probably likely what they were doing and having lights on to grow grass and do what they need to do. So yeah, it was great to have City start what it was, kind of a rally, if you will, of St. Louis teams winning. Love it.
Love it. Well, not to have a detour on the grass here, but I know Ranj knows more about this than I do, but the groundskeepers and the guys that take care of the grass for Major League Baseball stadiums, and as you mentioned with MLS stadiums, it is a huge deal, and it is a big deal to be the head groundskeeper on that crew and what it takes to keep the pitch and to keep, in baseball, to keep the field in top condition.
Yeah, 100%. And the players will tell you when they do not like it. I teased Tim Parker in year one because he would always complain about the training pitch.
Really?
And I said, what is wrong with the training pitch? He's like, it's too hard. And I'm like, Tim, you are old enough, and so am I, to remember harder turf than this. And I remember when they played last year or the year prior, they replaced the sod, they replaced the turf, and it looked nicer in a photo than it did when you were up close and personal. Just, the weather's got to agree with you, the right amount of rain or not a right amount of rain needs to come. And it was kind of bouncy, a little bit bouncier and had more divots, if you will. Took a little bit for the guys to run on it and get it all settled. So yeah, the players noticed for sure. And they are very particular about, knowing what it felt like before and knowing what it feels like now. So yeah, I understand it's a huge commitment, a huge study, and quite a gamble when you go do that in the middle of a season.
Well, that is really interesting because any millennial and Gen Xer who grew up playing CYC soccer in St. Louis, I played in the St. John's Lutheran School and Church Cougars, who,
Yes.
I mean, our field, it sloped down into a chain link fence that had honeysuckle creeping onto the field, where the white paint is actually almost on the other side of the chain link fence at that point. And then there were just holes in the field where at least a couple kids would break their ankles every season. I mean, those were the good old days.
100%. I played a lot at Booter Park in Fenton, and there were just places where it never recovered from rain. So it was just dirt, or when it rained, it was just mud. And the whole question was which kid was going to go running through the mud on a rainy day. And parents, with the uniform. So and even Soccer Park. We know that in Fenton, who started with having, besides indoor, starting with having the turf, and I tease now that it felt, compared to the turf that's used now, the AstroTurf that's used, that it really felt more like concrete painted with green paint.
Yeah, right.
Compared to what it is now.
Jen, the term pitch, it seems so snobbish to me. It's a soccer word because we all grew up playing on field 7 when we played soccer as kids. Do you soccer types use that as a way to kind of discriminate and like weed out, this guy doesn't know anything. He's calling it a field.
It really is, and it reminds me of the same thing for people. I'm sorry if I'm going to make people mad, but if people who say pub instead of bar. We grew up with everybody saying bar, and to your point, Michael, field. It was soccer field number 5 or soccer field number 2. We all grew up, I think, for the most part, at least I did in St. Louis, saying that it wasn't until more exposure to the international game where the rest of the world calls it the pitch, and I guess some parts of the world call bars pubs. You occasionally find a pub name around here, but yeah, it kind of reminds me of that, and I feel I can fully admit that as time has gone on, particularly covering St. Louis City, that the word pitch has come into my vernacular as much as some of the guys who come from overseas still want to call the sport football, because that's what it's really called in the rest of the world, have to train their brains to say soccer.
Right. Well, and, one of the other ones I know that seems snobbish to me is, we would say, oh, Michael, put on your uniform. You've got practice. We got a game today. But now you got to call it a kit. So for those of us who grew up playing St. Louis soccer as normal human beings, who want to look like we know what we're doing, what else besides pitch and kit do I need to know so that I don't look like a complete tool?
Yes, your boots. So cleats
boots
were boots.
Come on.
In other parts of the world. I'm trying to think of. I'm going down, up and down.
The one I messed up on
that
is
that's a big one.
Game.
If you want to
game and match.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, game and match.
Game and match. Training versus practice. And if you want to be really snobby, the sideline, call it a touch line. It's a touch line because apparently in old, I'm talking old soccer, before there were really rules about a throw in, when a ball went out, the first person who got it and touched it got to throw it in or kick it in. I don't know if they kicked it or throw it in, but it's called a touch line.
Jen, I got a question for you. Can you throw the ball in from the sideline into the goal? Would that be considered a goal?
I personally cannot, but yes.
It is possible. Now, growing up, we had a girl that played on the 7th grade team when I was with the 7th grade boys, who was a 7th grade girl, and she would do a cartwheel with the ball from the sideline, and it would like create a flipping manner, obviously, as a cartwheel, and she could throw that ball into the goal.
Yeah. Did you seen that before? Or a flip? Did she do a flip or a cartwheel?
Well, I guess it was a flip. Same,
like
right?
So like when they go and you kind of, a front where you go down with both hands either on the ball, or they go with their hands on the side of the ball.
It was so incredible. And as little 7th grade boys, you're tiny. The 7th grade girls are grown up, and then she could do this and whip that ball into the goal. That can work still in like a real soccer play.
There are college women who do it, who can throw. It creates almost another set piece, if you will, especially if you're down in the other, near the other team's box.
Wow.
We've seen plays from the women where they flip the ball and they throw it in, and it's almost, not quite, because it doesn't come in with the same velocity, but it's almost like a throw-in. So yeah, when you have a long thrower, somebody who can throw it that way, whether they do it flipping or otherwise, it can create a little bit of a different weapon.
That's incredible.
That's wild. I actually didn't know that was legal. Either one, that you could do the front handspring and flip the ball, or that you could
throw.
You
were calling it fields too.
That's what I was trying to say.
You don't know much.
Yeah, no. Like Michael said, I don't know much, Jen. I was calling it a field and a soccer game, but it's a match. And now we know the touch line.
I'm going to impress my
when
buddies at the
you say
Amsterdam with that one.
Yeah, do that, and they're going to be like, "Who are you?"
That's really impressive. Well, I don't know if Yohan Demay would want the flip move. Maybe somebody would do the flip move.
I'm thinking no.
Yeah, okay. Well, tell him Michael Kelly said it might be a good idea. But as you mentioned, the City SC did beat New England in their last game 3-1 and won, scoring some goals, which was good to see from City. But also, wasn't New England a pretty good team?
Yeah, well, they had their share of struggles. They had a couple losses, a tie, but they had come off of beating FC Cincinnati by a score, I think, of 6-1. So they're another team that has new coach, new system of play, started to look like they were really figuring it out. But to St. Louis City's credit, yeah, they did what I think a show asked me the other day. What did St. Louis City do differently? I'm like, score goals. We scored goals, and we scored goals off of Simon Betcher got his goal. I've picked on Simon in the past. It was so good what he did. Chris Durkin gets the goal going into the second half, and then can we all just bow to Marcel Hartl for what will likely be a candidate for goal of the year versus he got goal of the match day, of course, with that one. But yeah, they did those things. Yohan Demay talked a little bit yesterday in training. The guys had a couple days off, back in training yesterday. They're training today. They actually play SLU on Friday night. So tonight they play SLU men's in kind of a scrimmage, which should be fun. I would think as a college player to have our pro team's going to come in and kick our butts. That'd be a good time. But Yohan Demay talked a little bit about the fact that one of the things that we're missing a little bit when it comes to scoring goals, I'll take the goals, is the fact that we haven't done one with possession just yet. We have been on restart. We've picked it off. We've turned it over, but we haven't done one where City has brought the ball in themselves. So, to Yohan Demay's credit, he's so classy. He's so well spoken. But part of me wants to ask him, do you just want to tell people, I told you so? Just give me some time to cook, and hopefully things are going on the upward trend.
Now, with the game coming up against New York City, it's not until April 4th, but how is New York City doing this year?
They're doing really good. Right now, if I check the conference standings right before we talk, they are second in the Eastern Conference. The Eastern Conference is historically a little bit of a stronger conference, but everybody's only 4 or 5 games in. But yeah, New York City is no joke. St. Louis City will have to go into New York City and play, at a stadium that's not home and play a team that is right now doing really well. And now it doesn't really get a whole lot easier for them. They go then on their second week of travel to FC Dallas. They play on the Central Time Zone. Then they go out to Seattle and they go back out west to the West Coast in that time zone to play Seattle, who we've already lost to this year. And going into Seattle and trying to get a win is really tough. And they're not back here, I think, until about a month from now, when I believe it's San Diego here at home on, I think that might be April 24th.
Jen, as we say goodbye, our texter, we have a frequent texter named Big Blonde Dan, and he noted that pitch is a rugby word too. So pitch is international.
Oh, there you go.
And then he also said that City had 2 of the top 5 goals of the week last week.
Yeah. So is he talking? He must be talking. So Marcel Hartl's.
Yep.
Was it Durkins or Betcher than the other one? I wonder.
I'm not sure. He also wants to know if Hartl he goes, please tell me he's not going anywhere soon.
Not that I understand. No, he is one of our designated players. He is, slated. If you look at the way City's playing and how they're using Marcel Hartl, he should be the top goal scorer for the club, by the end of the year. Now, there's still 29 more games to play, 28 more games to play. There's a lot to do, but I don't think Marcel Hartl wants to go anywhere, and I definitely don't want him to go anywhere.
Jen C., St. Louis City SC broadcaster on Y98. Their next next MLS game is April 4th. Thank you, Jen. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys.
That is Jen Cease. And over there is Michael Kelly. I'm Amy Mark Scores. Did you see this? Is next on the Chris and Amy Show.
I met my wife in law school at the University of Florida. She was from upstate New York and I was from Kentucky. We met at a daily mass at St. Augustine's. She was the most beautiful girl I'd ever seen in my life. After communion, I followed her out of the church and got her phone number. The rest is history. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Little did we know that one day we would have 4 children and the largest injury firm in the world. All 4 work in the business. It's a family business. Did I ever see this coming? Hell no. We just worked very hard and treated our clients like we would want to be treated, like family. It's a full-service injury firm, auto accidents, medical malpractice, workers' compensation, Social Security, and insurance disputes. We're open 24/7, 365 days a year. Visit forthepeople.com and we can get to work on your case. No recovery, no fee. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I own a coffee shop, and I wanted to label everything with our logo.
That's ambitious.
Cups, boxes, bags.
Ooh, that'll add up.
Not at all, because right now, Staples prints custom labels for 30% off.
30% off? That's shockingly affordable branding.
Yep, now our logo and URL are seen all over town.
Brand your business for less at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in-store, online, or in the app by 4/18 to unlock. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Come on. No! It's just a golf lesson, champ. Loosen up. I can't. See that Hyundai Santa Fe? Yeah. I only paid to finish up on your own. I gotta run.
Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days on the Hyundai Tucson, Tucson Hybrid, Santa Fe, or Santa Fe Hybrid. Now, during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Hurry. Offer ends March 31st. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
Rhino Shield is engineered to outlast paint by a lot, backed with our 25-year transferable warranty. Paint a house, shield a home. We do brick, block, stucco, asbestos, steel, aluminum, cedar, and more. We are the only coating company selected by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where all 3 episodes concentrate on unpainted brick. If you maintain or own a business with a tired-looking building, you owe it to yourself to look at Rhino Shield and our beautifully durable color schemes. Evaluations are free. We're making buildings pop and be noticed again, from Champaign to the Lake of the Ozarks, exceeding expectations every day with our products, people, and performance. Now is the time to call 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or go to 877-25rhino.com and see how honest and transparent we really are. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
At Ophthalmology Associates, their goal is to ensure that every one of their patients enjoys the best possible eyesight at every stage of their life. This is Rick Wallace, and I've been through several life stages with Ophthalmology Associates. I've trusted them with my eye care for almost 30 years. Doctors Birdie, Malhotra, Brusati, and Royer head up a network of leading specialists in every field of eye health. They're involved in leading-edge research and equipped with the latest technology to handle the most complex situations. And there is always personalized eye care tailored to your individual needs and preferences at Ophthalmology and Associates. Oh, yeah, pediatric eye care, too, and a full-service optical shop. Ophthalmology Associates. Visit youridoc.com or call 314-966-5000.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX and the free Odyssey app. Now, did you see this? With Chris and Amy.
Well, Michael, I did not know this until yesterday, so I might be late to the party, but U.S. paper currency will soon feature the signature of President Donald Trump going forward. The U.S. Treasury Department announced it on Thursday, probably when I was at the baseball game or pregame before I had to go home
couch.
because I have Shingles McGee returned. Anyway, yeah, it will be the first time a sitting U.S. president's signature has appeared on paper notes, because generally it's like the Treasury Secretary or something like that.
Me. The Donald Trump classic line is me. It's all about me. Of course, he's breaking this norm. I got to tell you, I think a Democrat, whether it be Gavin Newsom or J.B. Pritzker or AOC or somebody, will be able to be extremely successful and appreciated by saying that everything this man's done, from putting his name on the Kennedy Center to building this silly ballroom to now putting his name to say, I am going to do it on day one, and then actually deliver on a day one promise, as opposed to what we witnessed with Donald Trump. I think it's going to happen. I don't care if the ballroom costs $1 billion. Knock it down. That's what's going to happen. Watch it.
Well, the thing is, especially where he put his name on like the Kennedy Center, it looks like it's a sticker. It looks like it is made to be taken down, and which, by the way, you cannot change the name of like the Kennedy Center. It has to be by statute. You can't do it by executive order. And listen, it's just when you put yourself in that position where you are saying that you deserve someone else's Nobel Peace Prize, or that you want to put your face on giant posters everywhere, and you want to put your face on the national parks, and you want to put your signature on the dollar bill, like, just forget everything political. Just picture it being you. That's insane.
Right?
It's insane, and it's embarrassing.
And for those of you out there who say, I might have Trump derangement syndrome, here would be my question. Pick a Democrat who could be the next president. How are you going to feel about AOC Terminal in NYC, or AOC Ronald Reagan, blah, blah, blah? I mean, this is so they come to me and they say, oh, you just don't like Donald Trump. No, okay, I don't. But I just want to know how you're going to react when it says, Gavin Newsom Pentagon building, or whatever it's going to wind up being.
Or his face is on giant posters everywhere.
It's silly, and it's silly. And the fact that you're defending it is silly.
And I want to reach out to Jay Nordlinger. He wrote for the National Review for years, long time conservative writer. And he wrote a great piece on how it's actually really, really bizarre and unhealthy if you are someone who wants to plaster your face and your name everywhere. We're joking about President Trump naming things after himself, which is why we wanted to name it the Chris and Amy Stan Musial Bridge and the Chris and Amy Gateway Arch Park.
I like it.
We just want to name, what are we going to name after ourselves? And we're joking about it, but he's saying, no, this is a big deal. It is serious and it's bizarre. And I will say, to be honest, when it comes to Trump derangement syndrome, it's real. And the person who has it is Donald Trump.
Yes.
He's like deranged with himself. It's so bizarre.
Me.
Yeah, like I said, just forget the politics and just be a human and think, what is your state of mind where you want giant posters of your face everywhere and you name everything after yourself?
And to defend it and to encourage it and to think that it's going to be, that you're going to be cool with it when it's on the other shoe. I mean, when the shoe's on the other foot. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's going to be glorious to watch these heads explode over the next, I don't know, starting in about 3 years.
You're listening to the Donald Trump, Chris and Amy show. Hey, when we come back, a really interesting piece in the New York Times by David French, basically asking, why is America so rich and so miserable? Good conversation. That's next on KMOX.
If you're trusting someone to manage your money, take a moment to do your homework. Make sure they are properly registered and check their professional history. I'm Denny Hoskins, Missouri Secretary of State. Our office regulates investing and works to protect investors. Call the Missouri Securities Hotline at 800-721-7996 or visit MissouriProtectsInvestors.com. Paid for by the Missouri Investor Education and Protection Fund. This is a public service announcement.
Unlock a brighter outdoor space in 2026 with Chesterfield Valley Nursery. Let us be your trusted partner for all your landscaping, lawn, and gardening needs, empowering you to create a haven that brings joy and serenity to your life. From landscape design to property maintenance to our garden center, we're here for you. Houseplants, tree shrubs, organic soil mixes, gardening and plant classes, and more. Chesterfield Valley Nursery's Garden Center has what you need no matter what the season. Visit us weekdays from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Saturday hours start in March. Follow us on Facebook or Instagram for for all class and sale updates.
Spring into green with Seidenstricker Nobe Partners. For a limited time, we have 0% financing for 84 months or up to $3,000 cash off on John Deere 1, 2, and 3E Series compact tractors. You choose the offer that fits your plan and we'll deliver it for free. Visit snpartners.com or one of our Missouri or Illinois John Deere locations. Seidenstricker Nobe, your partner for the land.
Offer valid through 4/30/2026. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
In St. Louis, the weather can change in an instant. One day, you're under a thunderstorm warning. The next,
oh boy, it's snowing.
Stay prepared for whatever Mother Nature throws your way. When weather threatens, the KMOX Storm Center has expert forecasts and live reports here to keep you safe and informed. Don't get caught off guard. Know your weather. Sponsored by
Saliga Heating and Cooling.
Honey, that flu keeping you up? Did you take NyQuil Intense Flu?
Nah, I got this. Okay, I don't got this.
Yeah, you need NyQuil Intense Flu.
Undo your flu with NyQuil Intense Flu. NyQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms so you can sleep.
You do got this.
NyQuil Intense Flu. The nighttime sniffling, aching fever. Best sleep with the flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Another app for inventory, one for CRM. Oh, don't forget accounting. Wait, which login was that?
Or you could use Odoo, one fully integrated system that does it all without the hassle. Ditch the app overload. Get everything your business needs on one platform. Try Odoo free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com. News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It is 11 o'clock. We've got cloudy skies, 43 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey. Relief could come soon to overworked TSA employees. Early this morning, the Senate approved funding most of the Department of Homeland Security, but not ICE or Border Control. The measure still needs to be approved by the House and signed by the president. CBS News congressional reporter Torian Small explains where ICE reform now stands.
It's no longer on the table because Republicans will go at this alone through the process known as budget reconciliation. That process only requires a simple majority. No Democratic votes will be necessary for it.
The president has called it a war. The Secretary of State has called it a war. The Joint Chiefs have called it a war. And so as the saying goes, if it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, and goes quack, quack, it's a duck.
That's Congressman Wesley Bell talking about the war in Iran on CNN this morning. While the Trump administration is calling the U.S. involvement a war, President Trump said earlier this week he's not calling it a war because he would need to get approval for that, and Congress has not authorized it. Bell fired back against Trump's recent comments to potentially send thousands more soldiers to the region, saying the administration needs to outline a plan before dragging U.S. troops into this conflict. Tomorrow is the third iteration of the No Kings protests. It's expected to be the largest yet, with more than 3,000 separate protests against President Trump and his policies planned across the country. Last June's drew about 5 million people. October's about 7 million. That's according to Harvard University's crowd counting consortium. In the St. Louis region, a number of locations throughout the morning and afternoon, including downtown St. Louis, Clayton, St. Peter, St. Charles, Alton, Herman, Warrenton, Troy, Festus, Florissant, South County, Belleville, and Edwardsville. Several adults-only Easter egg hunts are taking place across the St. Louis region tonight. There's a egg hunt in Maryland Heights kicking off at 7:30, while Webster Grove, Shrewsbury, and Kirkwood residents will start their hunt in a Shrewsbury Park at 8. Adult egg hunters will need to bring a flashlight while they hop around in the dark. And if you sniff out enough eggs, you might even get a cash prize. From the KMOX Business Desk, 2 of downtown St. Louis's most prominent eyesores could be one step closer to redevelopment. The Missouri House voted 119-27 Wednesday to pass legislation creating tax credits for office to residential conversions and other economic incentives aimed at reviving downtowns and commercial corridors statewide. Backers say the bill is critical to unlocking redevelopment of the vacant AT&T and Railway Exchange buildings. Greater St. Louis Inc. has pushed for the legislation for 3 years now and says it's turning its attention to the state Senate.
Breezy and much colder this afternoon than it was yesterday, with some sunshine returning, the high 55. Tonight will turn out clear and colder, low 32. Mostly sunny tomorrow, but still rather chilly, the high 57. On Sunday, intervals of clouds and sun becoming breezy and warmer, high 72. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Right now, it's cloudy and 43 degrees in downtown St. Louis. The weather is sponsored by Financial and Tax Strategies. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
If your retirement plan is mostly what if and a little fingers crossed, you deserve better answers than that. Check out Wealth and Wisdom Saturdays at 7 a.m. here on KMOX. I'm Gary Goldberg. Call 800-966-1690.
The Chris and Amy Show is video streaming now on KMOX's YouTube, X, and Facebook pages. Click and subscribe.
We're having a great day because Michael Kelly, Superman over here.
I'm here.
He was Mr. St. Louis yesterday. Matt Pajeski, Mr. St. Louis yesterday. What a great day in the city of St. Louis yesterday with the Cardinals defeating the Tampa Bay Rays 9-7. JJ Weatherholt with his very first hit in Major League Baseball being a home run. Then the St. Louis Blues, the hottest hockey team in the month of March, yet again, they win. It was a fun game because here's the thing. The Blues have struggled all season long, and it hasn't just been a struggle, but in a lot of games, it's been boring hockey. You know, it wasn't that, they're losing, but it's exciting. There have been some games where you're thinking, this is not fun, really at the beginning of the season. But then something happened after Christmas break and then the Olympic break, and you have the goaltending with Joel Hofer being outstanding. It was an outstanding game. They won in spectacular fashion in overtime. So, yay on St. Louis.
And, you know, it's heating up in St. Louis. It was 94 degrees yesterday at the ball game. What was it, 1985? Was that the Cardinals song? The heat is on. Well, it was on yesterday. And what a fun game. Big hits. And if you haven't heard the highlights, we'll keep it tuned here to the Gas House game later because I know they'll play him again. But John Rooney had one of those highlights that will be with us for the rest of the year where he said unbelievable. And it really was what Alex had done yesterday.
It was great. Great time. Okay, there is a piece. One of my favorite writers is David French. He's an opinion writer for the New York Times now, but he was years and years ago, he was a JAG lawyer. Okay. Then he was one of the, if not the premier First Amendment lawyer in the country, arguing courts cases before the Supreme Court. Then he was with the National Review, then helped found the Dispatch with Stephen Hayes and Jonah Goldberg. And now he has a column in the New York Times. He works for the New York Times now. Really a great writer. He has a piece, I think it's his most recent piece, and here it is. How can America be so miserable when it's so rich? And it's a really good question. And he starts out the story saying, the American economy is the envy of the world. Actual Americans, however, are not happy about their economy, and they've been unhappy about it for a long time. He said that both of those statements are true, and until recently, frankly, they stumped me. How could it possibly be rational to feel such prolonged pessimism in the face of such extraordinary economic growth? And he goes on to list some data saying that over the last 25 years, GDP growth in the United States has outpaced growth in Europe and Japan by a lot. And those of our two primary economic competitors outside of India and China. And the GDP growth in the United States has outpaced our competitors to such an extent that many of Europe's most powerful nations have economies that are only as prosperous as those of our poorest states. Meaning, if you live in Great Britain or if you live in France, you're living at standards measured by disposable income that are comparable to Mississippi, the poorest state in our country, than to America as a whole. And we also hear about the shrinking middle class. And he talks about, okay, let's look at the numbers. Why are Americans unhappy? First of all, do you agree with his premise?
Yes, I do, because I think we're living in two different worlds. We have trillionaires and we have the rest of us who are swimming to survive. If you're not, of course, if you were lucky enough to be invested in the stock market, you've gotten to go on this ride. But for those who aren't in it, things have gotten more expensive, and in your face on a daily basis via your phone is the excess of others that's setting the standard that you should live by.
Yeah.
And it's unrealistic. It's unattainable. I don't know.
No, I think you've hit the nail on the head, and in different ways too, because it's not just the trillionaires. He looks at the shrinking middle class and he said the shrinking middle class is shrinking because the rich and upper middle class are growing. Americans are not getting poorer. They're getting richer, much richer. And he looks at the percentage of Americans who are poor or near poor, which is less than 150% of the poverty line, plunged. So the Americans who are poor or near poor plunged from almost 30% in 1979 to 18% in 2024. The percentage of lower middle class families shrank as well. So lower middle class shrank from 24% in 79 to 15.8%. And during that same period, the share of upper middle class and rich Americans exploded. I'm going to slow down on the numbers here because I know this is people listening to the radio are thinking, oh my gosh, don't throw numbers at me. But in 1979, 10% of families were upper middle class with incomes from 500% to 1,500% of the poverty line. So 10% upper middle class. By 2024, that percentage is almost tripled to 31%. And the same thing with the very rich went from 0.3% to 3.7%. Now that I've thrown all those numbers out and everybody's brains are spinning, basically what he's saying is those who are upper middle class and those who are rich have increased exponentially since 1979. And he said, well, then why are we so unhappy? Because if so many Americans, if you look at us, so many of us live lives that are extraordinarily prosperous compared with previous generations and previous luxuries like air conditioning, big screen television, multiple cars, even home computers. A lot of Americans have those things. And he looks at it and said, well, basically, while the upper middle class is growing, and I want to find the percentage here, and the rich are growing, the economy is adjusting to accommodate those spenders. It's the K-shaped economy. The Wall Street Journal reported that the top 10% of earners, so the top 10%, this is households earning $250,000 or more, account for almost 50% of all spending. Almost 50% of all spending is coming from the top 10% of earners. He said that means the entire economy is tilting towards the top. And if you go to the top 40% of earners, that's 75% of all spending. And he compares it to Disney World, saying Disney World used to be something that people would go to, but now people go to Disney World, but if you pay extra, you get this experience. And if you pay a little bit more, you get the platinum experience. You don't have to wait in line and you keep paying more. And so people who used to be happy going to Disney World, either A, can't afford going to Disney World, or B, when they afford going to Disney World, they're looking at all these people who are spending more than they are and having a better time.
Right.
And they're like, it's just like when you're boarding an airplane. If we all got on the airplane, that's one thing, which is why I kind of liked the old Southwest.
Ditto.
But
I think they've ruined their business model, by the way.
Yes, the old Southwest. And you can talk to that more because I know you fly all the time. But basically, our entire economy is turned into an airline boarding process where you have to be platinum, platinum 1, premier, gold, gold 1.
And Amy, listen, I make a good living. I'm also single. I have no kids. I don't really have any really responsibility in terms of, and it's harder for me to keep up with the things that, and I look at what some folks are up to out there, and I'm no different than anybody else. I'm looking at the same Instagram feeds as everybody else. It's I don't know how people are doing it. even even if you're truly a rocket scientist out at engineer out at Boeing, or a doctor out at Mercy Hospital making a good living, I don't know how they're keeping up with what I'm witnessing on Instagram and on television of what happiness is to most Americans. Because as somebody who doesn't have to pay for college tuition or high school tuition or anything related to any young person, I'm having a hard time keeping up with it, of what I want to be able to do. And I think it's exactly what you said. The K-shaped economy, coupled with the fact of we can actually see what's happening for others in our society.
Yes.
And so it's depressing us even more that we don't have those opportunities.
Yeah. And he says you can't have what you can't afford, and you can't have what you used to be able to afford. And another phrase I thought, again, going to the airline boarding process, I thought was a really good analogy. He said, we're constantly reminded that America is a multi-tiered society in which a high income buys you a very visible degree of prosperity, and a decent income doesn't seem to get you anything special, even though we have these luxuries. He said, in other words, we have a group 1 economy for a group 9 nation.
Yes,
and
I like that.
Isn't that so good? We have a group 1 economy for group 9 nation. But I think that's why two things can be true, is that I do not take it for granted, especially when I see how people are living in so many areas of the world, right? Whether you're looking at Christians being persecuted in Nigeria, or in other countries where you're not being persecuted, but you still have to go get water from a well every day, or you're living in Hong Kong and you're living in a 30 square foot or 20 square foot room.
You're living in Mexico and you're governed by a drug cartel.
By a drug cartel, right. We have so many conveniences and luxuries that the Rockefellers couldn't have dreamed of. But like he said, the economy is now warping itself to accommodate the spenders. So we are, because there are so many more spenders now. And so we're constantly being reminded that we can't afford the platinum level.
Well, I'm thinking about something I used to do fairly regularly. I'd probably do it every other year, was go out to Colorado and ski in the wintertime.
Yeah.
I haven't been in 5 or 6 years. And you want to know why? Because a flight from St. Louis to Denver is not cheap. The hotel rooms have quadrupled since I've gone there. And now a lift pass that may in the day cost you $100 is now up to $400 and $500 for a day of skiing. I've seen the comparisons. It's cheaper to fly internationally than it is to travel domestically in a lot of instances.
Yeah.
And then when you get over there, you can go to Switzerland and buy a ticket for $100, as opposed to Denver. If you're out there for 3 days, you have to buy the legendary pass or whatever, $1,500. It's just become so unattainable. And I don't know how you do it as a family. And then I drive by the houses people are in and the SUVs that they're driving. And so they're supposed to keep up with this lifestyle that it's unattainable for most of us.
So what the phrase that you used earlier about how do I keep up? That is something that David French brings up in the article. He said, wealth always tempts us to be discontent, right? We are prone to envy. We always want more. I have to remind myself, I have it pretty darn well. I mean, we as Americans, most of us are living in the top 1% on a global scale. But he said there's a reason we talk about keeping up with the Joneses, and also the Joneses are inadvertently making it harder to keep up as we have all of these levels. But I loved it. We're in a group 1 economy and we have a group 1 economy for a group 9 nation. You've flown a lot. So I want to talk to you about Southwest, because I have not flown since the new setup. And then United Airlines also has a new feature that I used on accident, but now they're making it something that you can purchase. So we will talk about that next. You can always text in 314-436-7900. It's the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
If snow and cold has you thinking spring, why don't you do something constructive and call Chesterfield Fence and Deck? Let this be the year that you have that beautiful outdoor space that you've always wanted. Whether you're talking about a new deck, a patio, a pergola, they do all of it. And of course, fences as well, sunrooms, screen rooms. You can visit their beautiful showroom in the Chesterfield Valley. Chesterfield Fence and Deck is the sign you have the very best since 1968. All of their products are guaranteed by a 5-year labor warranty, comprehensive material warranties provided. They have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Now, if you're looking for the rock bottom cheapest price, Chesterfield Fence and Deck is not it. What they are is the company that guarantees their work and has been doing great work for 57 years. Quality work that will last for a long, long time. So you can enjoy your outdoor space for years to come. If you mention me, Debbie Monterey, they'll offer you 48 months interest-free financing. ChesterfieldFence.com.
Larry Elder here. You know, one of the most rewarding parts of sharing Relief Factor with you is hearing real stories like that of Sandra. She tells us, I've been hearing about Relief Factor on the radio for a couple of years, and I finally decided to try it because nothing else was helping my back pain. I know the feeling. With a 3-week quick start, she said, I went for it. Now I feel like a new person. That's Sandra's own words, and it's so gratifying to hear. I've told you about my brother Kirk having difficulty going up and down the stairs in the morning. He wouldn't listen to me. I told him to take Relief Factor. He finally did. Began moving better, feeling stronger. Too bad he didn't listen earlier. Try it for yourself. The 3-week quick start. And see how Relief Factor could be your game changer too. It is only $19.95. Think about it. Do the math. Less than $1 a day. So call 800-4RELIEF. That's 800, the number 4RELIEF, or go to relieffactor.com. All one word, relieffactor.com. How will it feel to be out of pain? 800-4RELIEF, relieffactor.com.
If you live in Missouri, have Medicaid, and need a caregiver, this message is important. Care at home is personal. That's why you may not want a stranger in your home to take care of you. You want someone who already knows you and your daily routines. With Freedom Care, you choose a trusted family member, a friend, or a neighbor. They will get paid after every shift to care for you, and it's 100% free to you. More than 70,000 people have already joined the Freedom Care family. Call your local Freedom Care. They'll check your Medicaid eligibility. Don't wait until a stranger shows up at your door. If you have Medicaid and need help at home, this care is available 100% free to you. Call Freedom Care now to see if you qualify. 314-907-0892. 314-907-0892. That's 314-907-0892.
Freedom Care, we're here for you.
Taking care of your health should be simple. And with the Neovitin monthly subscription, it finally is. Choose your doctor-formulated multivitamin and we'll deliver it straight to your door every month. No more running out, no more remembering to reorder, just consistent nutrition made easy. Plus, subscribers save 10% every month and can pause or cancel at any time. Visit neovitin.com and start your subscription today. Neovitin, trusted nutrition every day.
100 years of service and still at your service. KMOX.
We were during the break still talking about this piece in the New York Times is how are Americans so rich and so miserable by David French, and a really good piece too, because I was just saying I have everything I need.
Right.
We have so much to be grateful for. And again, even in the United States, our floor is higher than the floor in pretty much any other country.
Yep.
You know, good friends who are from India, their family is there, and they talk about the poverty that is there. We don't see that level of poverty in the United States. Or even, like I said, being able to afford an apartment that's bigger than 30 square feet. And I know you're thinking 30, nobody lives like that. There was a whole piece in the Wall Street Journal about Hong Kong and Beijing and how expensive it is to live in certain areas. And if people are not making very much money, how they have to make do, and how I can step out into a yard, you know, and that in and of itself is a luxury, you know, or to have a kitchen and a family room and a bathroom.
Running water.
And so, and it really
Safety.
is. Yeah. definitely comparison is the thief of joy, but we have so much to be grateful for. But it is interesting the way that tiered economy is. And like I said, I think that's why Southwest was kind of fun, because I'm always Group 9, and then there's the group we dump if we're low on fuel. That's the group I'm in when I fly internationally.
Right.
I mean, they don't even they're like, we're glad you're here, Group 1. We're glad you're here, Group 2. And then they get to my group and they're like,
You're like steerage on the Titanic.
Why are you here?
Leo.
Why are you even here? Yeah. And you said Southwest, which used to be the great egalitarian way to fly, is
I think
no
they've
longer.
ruined their business model. And I've been traveling it for a while. Now, listen, first of all, travel and airplane travel sucks. I don't care what anybody says. It's not glamorous. You're stuffing yourself into a cigar tube at 500 miles an hour. All you want to do is just get there,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And so now they've tried to change it where, you know, that you can buy different seats. All their prices have gone up. It's impossible to understand what you're purchasing. One of the best parts of the Southwest app to me 6 months ago was how easy it was to figure out what you were buying, where you were going, and now it's all changed. And so now to be able to accomplish what it is that you used to do in the past, it's more confusing. It's far more expensive, even over and above what inflation used to be. And the process of boarding, et cetera, is messed up. And they're no different than any other airline now. Now, I have always kind of kidded it around since TWA went away and we had American Airlines, that I think American Airlines is one of the worst companies on the planet. I mean, I just they stink. It's not fun to deal with.
Yeah.
That's what Southwest has become.
No.
It's become confusing. You don't know what you're buying, and everything seems to be more expensive. And they're nickeling and diming you on everything. Just tell me what it's going to cost to bring my bag and to be able to have a window, or to be able to have my knees not be up on my chin, and I'll be able to buy that ticket. But now it's turned into such complicated. Even if you buy the most expensive ticket, you may not be in the place that you want to be. Yeah, it's just confusing.
So,
I don't like it. I don't want to use them anymore. Unfortunately, I live in St. Louis, and they're pretty much my only option.
Yeah, they have a lot of flights out of St. Louis. So are you not getting a seat number, a specific seat?
You do. You get a seat number. And
Okay.
so, I've
Assignment.
also traveled enough that I can be a part of their A list.
Yeah.
Which in the past just meant I got to get on and fight for my seat quickly.
Yeah.
Now it's assigned, and that process is all messed up. It takes much longer to load the plane now because they have assigned seating, because, of course, all the first people to get on the planes are the ones who sit in the first rows. So there's no baggage places for your bags over the top. I don't like it. I think they ruined their business model. And I don't think I'm unique to this, because I've been traveled enough since the new year when this has been going on with fellow regular travelers like me, all saying the same thing, that Southwest is just not what it used to be. And I don't like it.
I hope they go back, because it's stressing me out to think of the new process. I don't know why. Like you said, it's like every other airline. But speaking of that, United Airlines, have you heard of their new Relax Row option?
What's
So they
this?
haven't given any prices.
Okay.
I've Googled to try to figure it out. What you can do is buy a whole row of seats. So 3 or 4 seats, I'm guessing 3. And then you push up the armrests, and they provide a pad, like a little bed pad, and a pillow for you, and you can lie down on the seats.
Well, aren't there other people sitting in those chairs? Or you have to buy all the seats in that row?
That's why I don't know what the price is, and they have not said what the price is. I had this inadvertently, which was the best flight ever to have it on, which was a flight to Sydney, Australia from Dallas, which was 17 hours because we had a headwind and there was turbulence the entire way. And I was in row 87. That's right. And as soon as the seatbelt sign went off, everybody got up, and I'm like, what's going on? Well, the flight was darn near empty. This was the Airbus, the 2 level. It had stairs in the back of it, which was so wild.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone got up and found a row. Well, of course, since it took me 10 minutes to figure out what was going on, I was the last person to find my row. So I was in row 87, which was the second to last row in the very back of the plane. But it was a 3-4-3 3 seat setup.
Okay.
So it was a pretty big plane.
Right.
And I had all 4
Hey, now.
seats in the middle. The armrests did not go up all the way,
Right.
which is
Weird.
problematic and weird. But I was able to lie down for the entirety of that flight.
Nice.
And there was a lot of turbulence. And I think being in the back of the plane, I could feel that turbulence. And so I had to be medicated. So I was medicated enough that I was on a 17-hour flight. I did not watch a single thing on the TV. I did not read. I slept for 14 hours, basically. But I couldn't have watched TV if I wanted to, because when I would sit up, it was like, yeah. And that, I can't do that.
So maybe this row thing would make sense for like a family. Say your mom traveling with your 2 kids. Fine. Okay, we can do that. Otherwise, you're essentially just buying 3 seats. And now they're going to give you a pad to make it more comfortable for when you lay down.
There has to be a discount. There's got to be a discount, but it's not, business class.
Here's the other thing that happened on a Southwest flight to me recently. So I had bought an aisle seat. Why do I get an aisle seat? Because I got long legs. I can at least kick that left or right leg out into the middle of the aisle when there's nobody out there and I have the extra space. But in the past, if a family was traveling, right, they all get on together and they find seating that works for the kids. Well, when they're traveling with kids, now those kids are getting assigned seats. So I wound up having somebody's kid sitting next to me. And then my neighbor across the row had a kid sitting next to him. We didn't have, these were not our kids. And so now the stewardess is coming up to us and saying, oh, yeah, you're going to have this person. And I'm like, well, I will trade with that parent. Because that's a middle row, middle seat, less desirable. Well, the parent is sitting in row 14 on an aisle seat so that it's more comfortable for them. And they were like, you could trade with that person in row 14. And I'm like, no, Southwest, you've messed this up.
Oh.
It was better when the whole family just stuffed its, self in there together.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it is. I'm bummed. I'm hoping Southwest, the people revolt. And Southwest reverts back to what it was.
I sound like such a nagger as it relates to that. But if I'm telling you, if you've been out on Southwest, they've ruined it. They really have ruined it. And listen, although now you have assigned seating, look, being on an airplane is not glamorous. It's just not. Unless you're paying $3,000 on a flight across the Atlantic Ocean to sit in first class. I don't care where you're at in the plane. Even in first class, it's not fun.
I don't know.
It's just let's get there. Let's hurry up and get there.
I've never turned left on a plane. I've never walked onto a plane and turned.
Yeah, who can
left.
afford it?
Not me. Well, when we come back, Matthew Pajeski here is he is upset about the actor John Bernthal, who is really I don't know who he is.
I don't know if I am upset.
Oh no!
We're gonna have to tell me who this guy is first.
This
so
guy
when we come back,
looks down on people who nap. What?
Snoozers?
It's the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
Midwest winters take a real toll on your garage door. Let my friends at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis come out and perform their 26-point tune-up on your garage door and opener. The work is guaranteed, and it's just one price for up to 3 garage doors and openers. No extra charge for evening or Saturday service. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, since 1926, 100 years. Schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. That's overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Guys, it is the best time of year for college basketball, and my friends at FanDuel Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of KMOX, mine as well, are doing some really cool things. If you haven't signed up for FanDuel yet, you've been waiting, or you just haven't gotten around to it, or maybe you just got knocked out of your tournament bracket and you're looking for some more fun. Well, right now, new FanDuel customers can get up to $300 back in bonus bets every single day for 10 days if your bet loses. So here's how it works, and it's really simple. You place a tournament bet using the token, and if it doesn't win, you'll get up to $300 back in bonus bets every single day for 10 straight days. And you can even mix things up too if you want to. Go for some same game parlays if you want a shot at a bigger payout. All you need to do to play more, all you need to do to play all the way through the championship game is go to FanDuel.com/Missouri to sign up. Just remember, you have to be 21 or older and present in Missouri. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable and expire 7 days after receipt. Tokens are received in increments of 1 per day. Restrictions do apply. You can see terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
It is 44 degrees at the Arch. It feels like 30. So I don't know what that's all about, but it's going to be cloudy all afternoon. We're going to see a high of 53 today. Tomorrow, we'll have the exact same temperatures. 32 to 56 will be the temperature range, but at least you'll have the sun.
This is Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates. You know, the doctors, or just the best doctors to see for your best vision in St. Louis. 314-966-5000, the doctors. They've treated more than 250 doctors. That's more than any other practice. Dr. Greg Birdie, Dr. Ranjan Malhotra, Dr. Robert Bersati, Dr. Andy Royer. 314-966-5000 is their phone number. 314-966-5000. Dr. Birdie, Dr. Malhotra are cornea surgeons and experts in diagnosis and treatment of diseases of the eye, dry eye, allergy eye, cataracts, macular degeneration, glaucoma, LASIK surgery. The Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates, experts. Call for an appointment today, 314-966-5000, or visit them online, youridoc.com, 12990 Manchester Road, quarter mile west of 270. 314-966-5000 or youridoc.com.
What if you had a plan to build income outside your job? At Lifestyles Unlimited, you'll learn how people are investing in real estate to grow their income and make smarter financial choices one property at a time. Right now, join us for just $297. That's a savings of $443 off our real estate education program. Text RADIO to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
You've probably heard all those ads for life insurance. Just a few dollars a day, apply online in minutes, no medical exam. Simple, easy, and cheap, right? Now you're thinking, maybe I should get a quote. Well, smart thinking. Everyone should have life insurance. But here's what they don't tell you. Those few dollars a day rates, they're for young people in perfect health. That's why everyone calls Big Lou the 50 to 60-year-old not-so-perfect candidate. Like you. You take prescription meds and you're overweight. Winner, fried chicken dinner. Well, Big Lou works with life insurance companies that want people like you with no surprises after you apply. In fact, if you're a 50-year-old guy with a few health glitches, Lou could probably find you $1 million of term life coverage for about $200 a month. So yeah, you need life insurance. But unless you're young and healthy, you got to call Big Lou because he's like you, older, heavier, and on meds too. Get a quote right now at 800-200-1966, 800-200-1966, or biglou.com.
User experience / human factors design supervisor leads team researching and developing ergonomic designs and best practices for healthcare and consumer products, including their packaging, instructions, and approach to promotion. Travel required of 5 to 7 days, 1 to 3 times per year to various undetermined locations throughout the continental United States, Europe, and Asia. Position located in St. Louis, Missouri. Send resume to Noble International. Attention Human Resources, 121 South Orange Avenue, Suite 1070, North Orlando, Florida, 32801.
Rush Hour Sports, Matt Pauley, Kevin Wheeler with you here. Bernie Miklasz joins Rush Hour Sports tonight at 5 on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
The actor John Bernthal. Matt Pajeski.
He was in The Walking Dead. He's Shane. He was like Rick's best buddy.
Rick, you know him, Rick's friend.
Rick Grimes. He's
Never saw The Walking Dead.
Is he in anything else?
I saw it in Florida when they were going into a restaurant about 4:30.
He is the main actor. Yeah,
I get it.
He's in the Punisher TV show.
Okay.
And Fury. It's a World War II movie.
Okay.
So would
I
you
think
call
you'd recognize him?
Is he like an A-list or B-list actor?
I would say A-list.
Handsome fella.
Yeah, handsome.
Gets his
Is
beauty
he?
rest, does he?
He
I think
looks
so.
like a
Well,
hockey player.
Yeah, he's a tough guy. I mean, he's only played tough guys that I know of.
He looks like Paul Bissonnette.
Kind of. He's got like the nose that was broken 10 times.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a.
He looks like he's been in
face.
some fights. Yeah.
Well, tell me what this guy's deal is.
So he kind of went viral for saying in multiple podcasts, multiple interviews, how he does not nap. He refuses to nap. He kind of looks down on people who do nap because there are much better ways to spend your time. The world's going on outside of your nap. I just want to play a few clips of that for you.
Why don't you take naps? I don't take naps, man. I don't take naps. I just don't have time for naps, man. That's for the birds, man. I just ain't doing that shit.
It's for the birds.
It's for the birds?
Napping is for the birds.
Yeah, I probably count on one hand how many times I nap a year.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, if I'm ill, obviously I'll nap in the middle of the day, but I want to sleep in most of the day. But like, there will occasionally be a time at my office where I'm like, I don't have anything going from 11 to 12:30. I'm going to lay down here for a minute.
Yeah.
And I'll wind up snoozing. Sometimes on a Saturday watching golf.
I love watching golf.
Yeah, I'll fall asleep. But I'm not a consistent napper. I appreciate those who can nap. My problem with once I get into sleep,
Yeah.
I don't want to be done with it. I want to stick with it. So
if you fell asleep at 4 p.m., could you sleep until the next morning?
no, not necessarily, but I would not try to fall asleep at 4:00 because if I woke up at 7, my day's ruined. And it's not like I'm going to sit up and watch TV. I'm
Yeah.
going to go into my bedroom and try to sleep. Now I'll pay the price being up at 3 or 4 in the morning.
I think something's wrong with me. And
Well,
Okay,
please tell
turn
us
his mic
more.
off. I do. No, I feel like I've always gotten really tired in early afternoon, which people do, but I remember being in my early 20s and being really tired. I've also been a morning person and pretty active. So here's my problem.
Do you nap?
Yes.
How often?
Whenever I can. Okay, let's erase shingles from the mix here
Okay.
because my shingles McGee is not fair. That is
You're ill.
That is like being run over by an 18-wheeler. And yes, so let's say in a non-shingles era, I could nap every day.
Wow.
I mean, I could. If I'm not home, obviously I'm not sleeping, finding ways to sleep outside of the house. But if I were to come home early, and that's the thing is if you come home from work late in the afternoon and you're tired, that's a terrible time to take a nap because if I fall asleep, if I don't set my alarm, I'll sleep for 2 to 3 hours.
Right.
Naturally, I will sleep for 2 to 3 hours. And I wake up feeling like I have the flu. I feel terrible. And I still nap because I feel like if I don't lay down right now, I'm going to pass out. I'm so tired. I will say it has been brought to my attention that when you're working, a full-time job, and I will average 80, 90, or 100 miles a week running, that probably has something to do with it.
Yeah. Come on.
And waking up at 4 a.m. to get that run in. Yeah.
Well, if professional marathoners will sleep 14 hours a day and they'll sleep 10 hours at night. So Dina Castor was one of the best American marathoners, and she would run 140 miles a week, which is 20 miles a day, 7 days a week. But she also slept about 13 to 14 hours a day because she would sleep 10 hours at night and then take a 3 or 4 hour nap. So you run in the morning, right? Take a nap, run at night.
Well, her whole life is the
But that was her
existence
whole
of
life.
running a
Yeah.
marathon and then sleeping. What kind of life is that?
That would be my dream life.
Are you
Yes,
serious?
if I could be a professional athlete, to be a professional marathoner where your only job is to eat, sleep, and run.
Yeah.
Love it.
And they don't even eat good. I mean, they eat good, but I mean, it's not like they're going to the restaurants in Paris.
Well,
they're eating nuts and
Eating
fruit
healthy.
and barley.
I will say, last Saturday I went to Billy G's in Kirkwood
Yeah.
by myself. I was so hungry. And I went to Billy G's and I sat down at the bar and I ordered the turkey burger, which is really good, and a margarita pizza for myself.
I went to Billy G's for the first time in my life like a month ago.
Really?
Cool place.
The patio, the outside space?
Well, it was a little chilly, so
Okay.
we were inside, but a cool place. And it's one of those places that, it's like, to me, it's like McGurk's. It's a name
Mhm.
you've heard forever. Well,
Yeah.
I've been to McGurk's. I'd never been to Billy G's. And now I get why people go there.
Yeah, it's a great place.
It's great. There's a place there in Kirkwood, too, Miss Napper, where the Peacemaker's at now.
Mhm,
One of the bars
mhm.
that the Peacemaker's in.
Yeah, right
Have you
across
been
from
there?
Billy G's.
Right
I
across
haven't.
from-
I have not been to Peacemaker.
should go
yet.
there.
Yeah, that's what you've said. You've liked it.
So I want to play one more clip.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe 2 more clips if we have time.
Yep, do it.
So while you're napping, Amy, this is what John Bernthal, the actor, thinks of you.
This motherfucker takes naps. I don't trust people to take naps, dude. I just found out he doesn't take naps, dude. He's a grown ass man. No, you don't. You did. Yeah, it's like, dude, like the whole world's moving while you're napping, bro.
I had to gotta insert so many bleeps in these past 2 clips. This guy's
Seriously.
so passionate about
He's
people who nap.
angry.
He sounds a little douchey.
Maybe if he were taking naps, he would be less
Yeah.
angry.
So he was recently on Hot Ones. Do you know about that? The
Yeah.
interview show where they eat hot wings and
Okay.
do an interview. So he was kind of put on the spot and told to apologize to everyone he's offended for his napping comments. And he apologizes, but it's kind of like a backhanded apology.
Look into the camera and apologize for offending all the nappers of the world. I am really sorry about that. And honestly, that got away from me. I got nothing against you if you nap. I have nothing. Like, bless you. I wish I just don't really do that. And I don't really have time for it. And I feel like you probably. I'm sorry. I feel like you probably do have something better to do than that. But I'm sorry, and I don't hold it against you at all.
Such a backhanded compliment. You're a loser, but I don't hold it against you.
I feel like you have better things to be doing with your time, but I'm sorry.
I feel like I live my life where I'm either going 100 miles an hour or I'm sleeping.
Really?
Yes. Like you have to go, and or you're sleeping. I'm not good with sitting, which is a bummer because sitting, to write, to read, to all of those things. But anyway, I think
how many days a week are you napping?
It depends on work, but easily 3.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I try not to do, like, I set my alarm.
Wow.
Because if I go 2 or 3 hours with a nap, I wake up feeling horrible. So I'll set my alarm for 45 to 55 minutes and I will sleep. I will nap at least 3 days a week. Again, this is non-shingles version of me, but it goes up when I am hitting 90 to 100 miles a week training. I'm exhausted. I'm not going to lie.
I don't know that I'm jealous of nappers, but I tell you what I am jealous of. When I was in high school and college, I remember my mother waking us up at 11 or noon and being like, you can't sleep your whole life awake. Because when you were in high school, you could sleep till noon or 1 o'clock.
See,
on
and
the
I
weekends.
could never do that.
I
was up
could.
at 6 when I was in high school.
But
all the time.
now I'm like on, tonight.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go out, have dinner, and I'll be like, I'm going to sleep in tomorrow. Hey, I'm waking up at 6:30.
Yeah.
I'm waking up at 6.
Yeah.
I would love to be able to make it to 9 o'clock. Just rather than a nap, sleep much longer than my body would normally do it. And it doesn't happen. Can you sleep in?
No, but I also don't like it. Like I've never slept in. Ever.
But even till like 8:30, wouldn't it be nice one day just to make it to 8:30?
I mean, to be completely honest, I love mornings so much that if you said you could never go out again past 9 o'clock, but you get to wake up and see the sunrise, I'd take that in a heartbeat.
Well, you wake up to see the sunrise. I don't mind being up when it's quiet and still and it's dark outside still, but you want to actually go watch the sun come up?
I love running and having it be dark for the first hour and then the sun starts to come up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love Matthew. Now, he was little Judgy McJudgerson.
What?
You don't like napping people?
I kind of agree with Mr. John Bernthal when he says it's like the world is going on without you. I do feel that, like, if I'm out for an hour, which is a bad nap, that's way too long. I feel like, what could I have been doing better with that hour? How could I have spent that time better? Going to the gym, reading a book, going outside. Instead, I sat or laid down in this catatonic state and didn't move my body for an hour. That's such a waste of time.
Here's though, devil's advocate. You know what I don't do? I don't binge watch like Game of Thrones or Stranger Things. So people say, well, I don't have time to nap. But then I bet they've seen Game of Thrones and Stranger Things. I've not seen any of that. I don't go to the movies. I don't watch television.
Have fun.
Except for on the background, I have the Barefoot Contessa. I love that.
And
I don't know what that
worse
is.
than all
Is
the
that a cooking show?
That's a cooking show and Murder, She Baked.
Why is she barefoot?
That was the name of her store in the Hamptons.
Oh, and everybody's barefoot when they're cooking? Is that
I think it's just
the niche?
I don't think anyone's barefoot.
I've never seen it. Now, the thing that I see people watch all the time that I just want to jump off a bridge when it's on are these home remodel shows, like, oh, they bought this place
Really?
and now for the next 20 minutes I have to watch them, act like they're reconstructing it. And I get it. But I'm surprised how many people are into that stuff.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. Well, we are so glad that instead of napping, you listen to our show. Not a waste of time.
We'll put you to sleep.
Well, that's Michael Kelly. I'm Amy Mark Scores. It's the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. The American dream is owning your own home, especially a brand new McKelvey home. This will be your last chance to take advantage of the tremendous savings of the 6 remaining market-ready homes or our luxurious Madison display at Summerlin and O'Fallon. Also get special 4.99% fixed 30-year financing. Talk to Stephen Bonfani on how you can qualify for this great offer. Visit McKelveyhomes.com. It's time to move up to McKelvey.
I was ordering food from our usual place for the big meeting. My VP said, "Please, God, no."
For workplaces suffering with corporate catering deficiency, every day's a struggle.
The food was always meh and over budget. Before Easy Cater, I thought that was normal.
Easy Cater is designed to treat CCD with a huge variety of restaurants, help meet dietary needs, and stay on budget. Use daily. One platform lets you save time and thrive. Ask your web browser about Easy Cater or start an order at easycater.com.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter? Right? And the best part? They accept Discover. Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer. Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times. Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants? These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide, based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
For residential and commercial heating repairs, service, maintenance, or installation, contact Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation. With over 50 years of HVAC service, get in your comfort zone this winter. Visit aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
A lot of people are getting their air conditioners tuned up and ready to go for the summer, and we're getting a lot of calls of people saying they want a second opinion, to have us come out and requesting us to come out there and take a look at their air conditioners. They've been told that they need a new one, and the repair is quite costly, and it might be best for them to replace the air conditioner and then repair it. If you're in that situation, please give me a call, because there is truly some opportunities here for you that we could save you lots of money, because I'm sure you're going to be shocked. We have the equipment that still works best for you with your budget. It's pretty much the best, is what I would put in my home, is what I would recommend. Give me a call. It's Bart Inman. One easy number, the easiest number in Missouri and Illinois. That is 314-293-2600. Or the online thing, and that is bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait, and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com. Chris Ronchi, Amy Mark scores, because life is too short for boring radio. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
We were just laughing because I said, maybe I'm not a napper. Maybe I'm just a runner. Because when I hit like 90 or 100 miles a week that I'm running, right? So you're doing 14, 15 miles a day, 7 days a week. Not only do I nap, but it's hard for me to get through the night without eating something. Like I'll wake up in the middle of the night so hungry. And Matt, you said
That's, I mean, how prisoners, I feel like, live, just to take the greatest thing in the world, sleeping, and to interrupt that with another with the worst thing in the world, being hungry. It's just, and you choose
just
to
as
live
a
like
go
that.
back to our previous show when we had the guy talking about the CJC, the criminal justice system.
Yeah.
Our center, he called them residents.
Yeah.
Prisoners are called residents? No, they're prisoners, man.
So Michael goes, you mean residents? We had a comment on Facebook. We were talking about naps, and Luke, poor Luke, he said, my wife hates me because I don't nap.
Yeah, that could be just one of the reasons.
I guess there could be worse reasons. A morbid 314 says, "Why nap? You will eventually be on a permanent nap."
Oh,
I kind of think that, like, they say, I'll sleep when I'm dead. Like, I kind of feel that. Like, I hate to miss sunlight. I want to be outside doing things. I want to be up and at 'em. I hate to lose any of that with an hour nap.
I remember when I used to have to go to bed when I was a kid and the sun was still out. It's like, no, the sun is still up. What do you mean it's my bedtime? This is not right. This is torture.
All right. I have a friend who it just blew my mind. I guess this was 2 years ago now, where he declared that he had never experienced heartburn.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean you've never had heartburn? He's like, I don't get it. I don't know. What is it? I was like, have you? It's like literally your esophagus kind of feels like it's on fire. It can manifest. It can manifest in different ways. Sometimes it can feel like chest pressure. I feel like there's a knot in your chest. I've experienced all sorts of heartburn, all the heartburn. I don't want to brag. Yeah. IBS, you know how it goes. Okay. But
IBS.
I don't want to brag, but I'm very familiar with all sorts of gastrointestinal issues.
Alrighty then.
Moderate to severe. And he had never had it. And I'm just thinking that's an insane flex.
Not really.
And you, this morning, Michael Kelly, who I've known for years, tells me that
I've never had a headache. I don't even understand what people mean when they say I have a headache or I have a migraine or a blah, blah, blah. I've never had to take medicine for a headache. I don't understand what it means. Now, I understand other pain, but it's one of those things that when people are talking about a headache, I don't know what they mean. And then I've heard Matt describe it. It's like pressure in your head. And the closest thing that I guess I can relate is when I was sick when I was a kid, my head was heavy, like to the point where I just had a hard time holding my head up because I was ill, but I've never had a headache. And even when I would drink to excess, maybe like yesterday,
right?
I don't get a headache. I don't know what that means.
I cannot describe to you the fresh as a daisy Michael Kelly who waltzed in to this building before I got here.
Yep.
I mean, with all of the energy and vim and vigor that you could possibly want. And from what I had heard, that you did not hold back partying yesterday.
No, we were living up St. Louis style. Matt Pajeski and I were woohoo.
Yeah.
How do you not look?
We drank all the products yesterday. All of them.
You had tequila, and you didn't wake up at all with a headache this morning.
I don't know what that means, a headache. I woke up and I went to the bathroom a couple of times. I urinated several times. But no, I don't have a pounding headache. I don't have any issues related to that.
And you don't get hungover? Is that
I
right,
don't.
Tim?
And that's dangerous, by the way. Yeah. It's dangerous that I can do. Now, fortunately, I'm not a big drinker. I know that yesterday I did. But that may happen once every 3 months. I'm not a drinker.
So you've never been hungover then?
Not that I know of. I mean, I can remember like drinking to excess where I threw up like in college. But no, I would consider myself to have been intoxicated yesterday. I mean, I walked and Ubered everywhere. And no, I don't get hungover. You saw me this morning. I'm just woke
You
up.
were fresh as a daisy. So when you do drink to excess too, like you don't even feel sick that night, because some people like get sick.
No, well, I'm smart enough not to drink myself into sickness, but I've done that. I mean, we all, I guess, have, or I did when I was in college a couple times. But since then, no, I can. I was intoxicated and I was fine, and I don't have a headache, and I don't get hungover. It's dangerous.
We have a 618. He says, "Congratulations! Our explanations of never having a headache has given him a headache." You know how when people talk about bugs or being itchy or whatever, and all of a sudden you start to feel itchy? I think this guy has a headache now.
I think he just doesn't want to listen to me talk.
Well, I don't think so. There was a good-natured joke. He said, maybe you haven't had a headache because you give them to the conservatives out there.
Well, who doesn't? Who doesn't?
That's a pretty good joke. Well, you don't give me a headache, Michael. You're the best.
Amy, I love spending time with you.
We love you, Michael Kelly.
Take care.
The Gas House Gang is next on KMOX.